Until
All right, we're live. Woo. Chatterbox number 30, big 3-0.
number 30,
Yeah.
it's now older than me.
We got Dave Schwartz, we got Inglehearth, and Skills Who Stabby Pants here. And, you fucking... I think the title says it all. Faster until the thrill of speed overcomes the fear of death.
Oh, that was going to be faster until I quit out in about 2 pumps.
Yeah.
I start off classy.
Yeah. I don't want to tell you how to do your thing, but that's between you and your lady friends.
Now that we're all perfectly uncomfortable.
Right. Faster, just don't moan or I'm going to blow it, man.
You don't want to blow too quickly. I want to keep you here for the next hour and a half.
Shit.
All right, so what do we have on the agenda today,
right, so
Stabby?
You started it off with a great one, and I thought, why not just go with that theme? You guys remember Giraffe Man?
Mm.
Giraffe Man, the Antifa professor?
The oh so beautiful prize picture on Twitter.
Yeah.
That was gold.
Yeah,
so
I prefer the Pez dispenser man, but go ahead.
we found his, or apparently somebody found, I shouldn't say we because I have nothing to do with this because I really don't care enough.
Mm.
But I saw this on Twitter. Somebody found his FetLife profile.
Oh, retro.
So here we have the giraffe, clearly taking a picture to minimize his neck. There still looks almost like his head is not attached to his body. It's like his head is sort of hovering above like a body that he like photoshopped that shit on. I don't know. He did. Am I wrong though? He kind of looks like he photoshopped a head onto somebody else's body.
He has a pretty little bit, actually. I can't deny that.
All right.
Maybe he's just wearing shoulder pads that are like 18 inches thick.
Yeah.
Oh,
man. So he's 29. I didn't know he's 29. He's still just a kid.
Oh, little baby.
He's not that old yet. I'm amazed at people that teach students, in all honesty.
What?
I
Because
feel
of
like
age?
professors should have to be at least like 35 or something.
No?
No, they should be, man. Just
Well,
like,
it depends on how
they
fast you
should
get
be
your...
super old.
No, because it depends on how fast you get your that piece of paper that tells you that you're really smart.
No, I just want them to be old so that they're just old. Because I feel like college professors should all be old. Just as like a stamp.
Yeah.
Oh,
They should all be wearing.
I
They should all have beards and be wearing tweed jackets at all times.
He gets it. That's what I'm talking about. Old, like, professors.
Tweed.
Man.
It's the tweed jacket. It's
Right.
like, your credentials look great. You're at the right age. But how do you look in a tweed jacket? We have this one to test on. He puts it on. It's like, no. That's not going to do. You can't work for us. I'm sorry. You must fulfill all requirements to be a professor at this college or university.
Yeah, put on a little weight and come back in like 6 months.
So we have his list of fetishes.
Good Lord. We're really doing
wow.
So he's 420. I don't know what ACAB means. I have no idea what ACAB is. I'm assuming that I'm assuming that's ass sex. The next one. If they just blurred out the S and the ass, I don't know why. Anarchism. I don't know how that's a fetish. You just be like, there are no rules in the bedroom.
Maybe just someone telling you an anarchist thing.
Yeah, androgyny. Well, you would kind of have to be if you were into like the level of like weirdness that he's into. You don't know what you're bringing back to that room, and what happens when it pulls off its pants is anyone's guess. So if you're not into androgyny, you're fucked. Well, maybe you aren't.
Yeah, good for him with being satisfied with whatever pops out when their pants drop.
You know, I can't argue with that though because it does increase your odds.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, well,
Yeah, you're really limiting yourself by half.
Yeah,
if you're only doing one or the other.
Kind of a compliment. It's like, no, yeah, I'm down with that. Like, it's good to be
I
down.
don't care what you're packing. I'm in.
I'm not sure how Antifa is a fetish, but I find that disturbing nonetheless. Attention.
Yeah, kind of makes sense, dude.
Bashing
They're all. Turns out all these people are acting out their fetishes in public.
So he put bashing fascists down as a fetish. Does that mean he runs around with these like Antifa riots with like a giant heart on or something? Like, is he just like really into it?
It's probably this one.
Yeah, maybe. Well, hey, maybe his neck is normally not that long, but his neck actually gets erect when he's excited.
See, that's like, so that means that picture that he has up there is the equivalent of a dick pic.
Yeah,
essentially. It's just him. It's like, no, I just have a heart on. All I can see is his neck growing.
I'm just really excited.
Hey, honestly, I wish I got taller because that means he's taller.
That is true.
It's like if I could get taller, it's like, you know what? I'll take that. That's a good thing.
Well, if you have a long enough dick, you kind of do get taller. Just if it's like a third leg that's holding you out.
you get trying to do a triplet.
Yeah. Oh God, black block sex parties. That sounds awful.
I bet the women are a real fucking choice there, huh?
I don't know, man. That whole thing seems creepy to me.
Yeah.
Why?
Have you seen the women that they don't shave, they don't bathe? You know, they're not
altogether pleasant for the most part.
Yeah, very few hot Antifa chicks, dude.
But even like you throw away all the other things, like their personality-wise, they're pretty shitty personality too. So, I mean, like, you know, shaving or whatever, like I don't really care. But if you're a total cunt, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah. In my younger days, I could kind of look past that, but yeah. Even in my younger days, I had trouble looking past if the girl was a bitch, dude.
So, for the record, you're not making fun of them for the fact of whether they shave or they bathe. It's more for even though basic hygiene's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of the fact that they're being absolute cunts. Or
yeah.
Your opinion of
it's all of it, but yeah, them being fucking complete bitches is definitely the biggest part of it.
Everybody's got their own thing, man. You know,
exactly.
Some people are, into like girls that shave only. Some people don't care. Whatever floats your boat. Let me go to brats. I'm not sure how brats is a sexual fetish. I assume it's something to do with like infant play or something, or child play, pretending you're a little kid and stuff like that.
Is it brats with a Z or an S?
No, with an S.
No. I was gonna say maybe he's just really into those dolls.
Oh, that would actually. I kind of wish that was the case. That would be really kind of funny.
I'm already uncomfortable, so it's okay.
Then we get to like the first actual fetish, breast and nipple play.
Mm-hmm.
I assume he just, wants to nurse. I assume that goes along with brats. I think we could safely assume that just means nursing.
Mm. Yeah, I was gonna say if not, I mean, aren't all guys kind of into breast and nipple play?
Yeah,
I think that's probably a pretty generic thing.
Yeah,
across the board, I'm sure there's probably a lot of guys that be like, yeah, I'm down for that.
Breast play is dangerous shit. That's something that you really don't want to get into. That's essentially it's like suffocating and denying people breathing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's.
If we're really gonna go down this road of what breath play means,
Jesus.
Like there's that part of it, but then there's another part of it that I would probably assume.
Like breathing on each other?
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's just like not so much strangling each other.
Well, no, but there's also the butt plugs, but then it goes to choking. And that's why I'm assuming.
There you go. That's the separation
between to do with choking.
Well, no, because he already has choking as a separate thing.
Yeah, but I'm assuming they're just part of the same.
Why are we analyzing this? Why are we analyzing Giraffe Man's
communism?
Fucking
he's into cunnilingus, so he likes to eat pussy, which is awkward because that must. I assume that's cannibalism in a way.
Ba-bumps.
Face fucking, not a shocker there. Face sitting. So he wants to fuck her face, and he wants her to fuck his face. And, at least he's even-handed. Gender play.
Yeah, equity.
Yeah, see, that's a good equality.
Irony and jokes. You would have to be willing to be into irony and jokes with a neck like that. Like you're not gonna get into that.
I was thinking if he's going down on a girl, she could probably have her legs stretched out and still have her feet like on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, let's get to
let's pick this up.
Gender play irony jokes memes, multiple orgasms, New Jersey accents.
Wait.
Wow.
Memes? How is memes a fetish?
I don't know.
Okay.
Very little of this makes sense. It's a fetish thing. But New Jersey accents, that's what I wanted. Like, so if somebody talks in a New Jersey accent, he gets off on that?
Yeah.
That's
wow.
I mean, let's see, that's
real
their,
specific and weird.
well, no, but that's their thing. Let's say if you hear somebody who has an English accent, you're totally down for that.
Well, yeah, I suppose I could see. Yeah, there's people that are into like.
It's just someone
Asian,
likes the Jersey accent.
Yeah, a lot of dudes are into Asian chicks. I'm sure like the Asian accent does it for them. Polyamory.
Yeah, any foreign accent's usually pretty sexy on a chick, dude.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as a fetish, that's a little weird. It's very specific. New Jersey, dude.
Yeah,
it's very specific.
See, because it's like, you know, what about like if it's somebody just outside of Jersey, and so it's slightly diluted.
Like,
that just gives him a chub, dude. Not full wood.
Sneak up behind him and be like, "Hey, I'm walking here."
it's a half.
Watch him like cross his legs and look embarrassed.
No. His neck will just grow slightly.
Oh, there we go. That's right.
Terrible people. Oh
radical queer writing crops, seizing the means of production. That's a fetish.
The communist.
Smothering. I assume smothering is not involved, and he puts it down as a receiving thing, like he's into being smothered.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that means he just needs a lot of attention.
Mm.
But sorry, really lame. Teasing in toys. He's curious about ass worship, calling my subs dirty fascist lapdogs. Qualification. Pegging, no shock there. Predicament bondage. I guess somebody breaks in and pretends to tie him up like a robber or something like that, maybe, or like he's,
possibly.
I'm guessing puppy play, self bondage, and suspension bondage, and waterboarding. Who the
waterboarding?
Weird.
Okay, that last one.
Man, that'd make a stay and get real fucking awkward. like, get that information out of this guy. We're gonna waterboard with someone down there.
But hey, down it.
Yeah, that'd be fucking bizarre. They start waterboarding you for information. You just keep getting harder and harder. Like,
you know what? Actually, that is the best tactic.
That would be.
You're really just like, bring it on. Blah, blah, blah. This is the best.
Suddenly, there's just like a slick wet spot in your pants, and they're just like, I can't do this anymore.
Whoa! I didn't pour water there.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know what CBT is. Roleplay makes sense. Soft limits, age play. Everything to do with it. He's totally not into, like, he has a soft limit of, like, probably not into it, but he might be okay with it, I'm guessing. Oh, hard limit is teacher-student, so the only thing he isn't into is pretending to be a teacher-student relationship, because he is a teacher, or was, before he got fired. That's fucking funny.
Yeah. He's probably into it now that he's unemployed.
And apparently here's a picture of him tied up in shorts, and that's awkward looking. God, that is a whole lot of skin and bones.
He is built like a chick, dude.
He really is.
Dude, seriously. If I saw that, I would almost expect that to roll over and have some tits, dude.
Like mosquito bites, though. I mean, with that, like,
yeah, it'd be like one of those. Yeah, one of those skinny chicks with hardly any tits.
Are we done analyzing Draft Man's life?
Oh, God. I just saw this. This is just such a bizarre article. Like,
is.
who the fuck went and, like this much up about him? I think that's everything else is, I really don't give a shit what this dude gets up into the bedroom. I just think it's like, kind of funny. And
it is an interesting find.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts, man.
Richard Spencer is still a dick. That face, though, that's memeable. I'm surprised that's not a fucking meme.
Give it time.
Like, they could just replace whoever it is. It's still a dick. It's just like they could replace it with anybody.
Yeah, give the internet some time. I'm sure they'll have some fun with it.
I just had to share that because that one was so fucking funny.
I'm surprised, dude. Why isn't he into Pez, dude? He's got to be into Pez.
That's fetish right there.
A little callback joke from last week. Definitely good.
You guys did see the thing on Twitter I fucking sent out, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
only found one, dude. So it was like, I guess there wasn't that many people making that connection, but I could only find one of him as a pet dispenser.
That's still a spicy meat.
I completely forgot about that.
How do you forget about chat? We do this every week.
Yeah, twice a week actually. So.
Yeah, you do. You do one without me.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Stench Ever.
Hopefully he didn't take off, but if he did, Stench Ever, we understand, sir.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Slacking. Gotta care.
There was 100,000 years of no razor soaps with perfume. Thank God the more prissy prudes or we wouldn't be here.
Dude, I'll admit, I still have a problem with armpit hair, dude. You know, like I would rather a chick's, a pussy be shaved, but that's not going to stop me. Not when your pussy's involved. But I still have a problem with the overcoming any chick with like armpit hair, dude. I can't do it, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't bother me. I really honestly couldn't care.
Right. Actually, I've never actually come across it now that I think of it. But I've just seen it, like a girl with like a bunch of armpit hair, and it fucking still grosses me out.
Have multiple times.
It's a thing.
It's not that uncommon in California. I mean, it's not super common, but it's like you will definitely see ladies in California like just they don't shave like their legs or anything like that. It's
even the legs. The legs probably wouldn't bother me that much, but yeah, I don't know. Something about armpit hair, dude. It's kind of stupid, I guess, but
it would only be wiry leg hair. Almost like looking your hair, but on their leg, if it wasn't soft.
We're traipsing down a dangerous path, gentlemen.
Like soft leg, that would be like, all right,
Disclaimer. Very, very, very hot comments.
Oh yeah,
go fuck
because so many people watch this show that we'll really have to worry about some hate comments.
Oh, we welcome the hate.
Oh, William, come on now. The only females who don't pussy are children. Everybody's got their own thing, man. Some chicks just don't like doing it.
Yeah, so yeah, chicks. There's a lot of chicks that don't want dude to have their fucking, they want dudes to shave their bushes nowadays.
Yeah, I think something like 58% or something like that. I saw like one of those little things on Twitter. I mean, who knows how accurate that is, but it said something like 58% of guys, like women, prefer dudes to be shaved, and like most other women want guys to be like at least trimmed but not shaved.
Yeah.
No,
so it definitely goes both ways.
And besides, if you trim it up, it looks longer. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's in your best interest.
Yeah,
there's got to be some research studies done with this, right?
Yeah, shave it all the way down. Put a racing stripe down the side of your cock. It looks really long.
Like with a little fucking red magic marker. Draw a fucking red racing stripe down the side of your dick, and they'll be like, "What the hell is that?" You go, "Oh, it's not an STD. I just drew on my dick with a marker." Totally gonna make it better.
It looks. Damn.
William really feels strongly about this shaved pussy thing. That's kind of funny. Oh man,
Razor
he
rash.
feels strongly about everything. Mostly he just hates everything. So I feel like we're probably all right.
Yeah, we're safe.
Yeah, that's why they're supposed to wax, dude. Avoid all that shit.
Oh, that's always seemed terrifying to me. I've never had that done to me, like wax, like arm hair or anything to see. But
I don't think I could ever like have that kind of tolerance. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm amazed that women can do that to their fucking cooch, dude.
I watched a chick do that to herself on YouTube. That was weird.
Yeah?
Yeah, somewhere out there there's a video on YouTube where it's self-waxing, and it's this chick just fucking contorts herself and fucking waxes her own vagina.
Ow.
It does not look
Does not
look pleasant.
Surprised they allow that.
That makes my balls like recede in.
Oh, okay. So it's not erotic.
It's just like, nope.
It's not erotic at all. It is, and it's also listed as educational, and it's YouTube, so of course they don't give a shit.
Yeah, so it's just like a how-to.
Oh, right.
To get your business down there.
Man, it really is. There's nothing like weird about it. She doesn't pose or like show off her titties or do anything weird sexual at all. It's just very matter. I don't know.
Yeah.
That had to be weird.
That's a comment.
Yeah, for any of you out there that are tuning in for the first time, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. It's pretty much always like this.
this is the usual map.
Yeah, it doesn't get better.
Yeah. I don't want you thinking
any better.
Yeah, I don't want you thinking this is some kind of weird aberration. If this always happens.
What's it? It's without the rock and roll, but it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah,
that's our topic.
Pretty much.
Just change out the rock and roll for what? I don't know. Just have something for me. Please help me.
Sex, drugs, and Antifa.
Yeah, weird news posts about people's lives.
We were talking about trimming, down there, and so this blogger turned skin that she removed from her labia into a necklace.
Oh wow!
That's taking trimming a little too far.
That is the necklace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for recycling, but goddamn.
That is the necklace right there.
Wow.
Okay, that's the thing.
Yeah. And so apparently she had excess skin from her labia were too big or something, and she needed to have part of it removed.
Okay.
It was actually recommended by a doctor because she would get sore when she was exercising and shit like that. And so she decided to keep it in a jar for a long time.
Is that just like something that sits on your nightstand for a while? It's like, this is my jar, that is my extra labia.
Yeah, and she took a video of it and apparently turned it into jewelry.
Wow.
Huh.
To dry them out for 48 hours.
Yeah, Stench Ever. Yes. Real quick for Stench Ever, I don't know if he knows, but Stabby Pants and Engelhardt are in the same room sharing a computer. That's why there's only 2 avatars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, because we originally, I live across town, essentially, which across town is only like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so he has a better mic than my headset does. And so I essentially just started coming over here and then we'd be able to talk into the mic.
Yeah, it's a little easier this way.
A little easier. I sound a little bit clearer. So until I start getting the same kind of equipment, it's going to be working this way.
This is super cheap, by the way. It was like $20 or $30 at most.
Nice.
Yeah. Plus, it's easier. It's easier for Hearth to mount Stabby in person.
Yeah. I don't have to finish the podcast and then go over it. Yeah, we can just do it whenever.
Yeah, just on your way out.
Like while we're talking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is hilarious. So she turned her fucking labia into a necklace. I thought that was awesome. You guys were talking about trimming, and I'm
That's gonna be the new thing.
Trimming right here.
It's excess body parts.
Yeah, going green. Recycle everything. Going green.
Well, actually, technically, that's upcycling, where you take something that normally would have no use because it's like dead, removed skin.
All right.
Something that actually has use, which is jewelry. Because who doesn't want to have creep the fuck out of whoever they're dating?
Yeah. I wonder if she opens with that. Like, you see this necklace? Isn't it great? It's made out of my pussy lips.
That would be glorious.
Yeah, that would be nice of her to let the crazy out right away. You don't want to hide the crazy.
But see, that is a fantastic icebreaker.
I would be into a chick like that.
Yeah, if you don't turn around and walk away from that, you really you start off at a good pace.
I feel like that's the icebreaker that makes it so I'm suddenly like I gotta date this chick.
Yeah, make or break right there, man.
Yeah, you weed them out, dude.
Yeah, the only other thing.
All right, I gotta go use the bathroom and jump out the window, or they stick around.
Jump out the window. He's like, "Fuck this!"
Yeah. Or they try to stab me. That's usually also a good indicator that that's the right girl.
Is that from experience? Do you have personal experience where someone tried? Wait, really?
No.
Okay.
Where do you think the thing came from?
There was
got stabbed right in the pants.
There was a girl I hung out with, me and a friend. We hung out with this chick, and she would always get into weird predicaments. And so, one time, she went to the bathroom at a bar and came back with another chick who was being threatened with a knife in the bathroom by somebody else.
Right.
They wanted to hang out with us for a while. So that was weird and awkward.
Yeah. That is pretty weird, man.
And that's where you thought of the name Stabby Pants.
Yeah.
This is an origin story, people.
That's where I got really frustrated because I'm like, why don't we just call the cops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, the person stabbed me.
There's some dudes
if you
people then be talking to the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, if it's somebody that's going to threaten somebody with a knife in a bathroom, they're not really going to stop just because there's a couple extra people around, dude.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was a pretty full bar. I don't think this dude would have gotten too far.
Yeah, he wouldn't have got far. Probably some way or another.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that bar and a lot of dudes, so I doubt he would have gotten that far with him. But still.
Not quite that crazy.
Well, I'm thinking he was trying to scare her into like leaving, and then when she left, he could like find her in some dark alley or something. Maybe, I don't know, or he just thought it was cool. You never know.
Yeah.
Some dudes think that that might get a chick turned on. I don't know. Some people are fucked up.
Yeah, that is a little. I mean, my pickup lines aren't great, but they're definitely better than that, dude.
Yeah, your pickup line's like, get into the fucking van, bitch. It seems like this guy's pickup line. Get in the van, close your mouth.
Quite effective, I guess. The closing rate is probably pretty high, I guess.
Someone really took to the dark side of bondage.
Yeah. So I think we need to find this on FetLife.
I guess the guy could always claim, like, "Oh, I had an ad on Craigslist. I thought that was you. My mistake."
Stupid Craigslist ads.
You know, the really sad thing is, like, I could see that as an ad on Craigslist. That really wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah, it'd be like me sitting in the bathroom at this bar, you coming in with a knife and fucking holding me hostage.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, that is true, dude. That could totally fucking happen.
Craigslist, gotta love it. Oh man,
it's so bizarre, dude.
I'm trying to now we run into that weird awkward moment.
What are you talking about? We're awkward.
They're all awkward moments, Stabby. Some of them have noise and some of them don't, but they're all awkward moments.
Our existence is nothing but awkward.
And speaking of an awkward moment, here's a dating site for you guys. This is herpespassions.com.
Disgusting.
The dating site for herpes-positive singles.
Actually?
It makes sense.
Yeah. Now they do.
It really does.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, let them keep it to themselves, man.
Yeah, it doesn't show any pictures on the front page, which I'm not terribly surprised.
Yeah, they didn't have like a little cartoon herpes logo or something?
Let's see. No, it's pretty clear. I wonder if this is just a blank site that nobody ever actually joined. Let's see.
Heart's in the right place, though.
Site activity.
Well, one would hope the heart's in the right place.
I don't know. Some people have actually joined in the last few hours, actually.
Good for them, man.
Yeah, let me be clear. If you got herpes and you want to like join a dating site, that actually makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, I'm going to file a lawsuit against this website claiming it's exclusionary and discriminatory. These fucking assholes are keeping all the good herpes to themselves.
It cannot be that hard to get herpes. I imagine there are hookers that
Yeah,
wandering the streets. So,
yeah, I would imagine.
No, there's no need.
If you got the itch.
Yeah, really. If you want the itch.
Yeah, if you got the itch or you want the itch.
Damn.
That's terrible.
Terrible person.
Yeah. But no, in all honesty, it actually seems like a really cool idea. I just figured, since it was an awkward moment.
You know what this podcast feel like since we're like 30 into them? It feels like a really rough game of Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
That is the perfect example.
Stabby can find on the internet.
Yeah. It's like, what is the fucked up shit that Stabby can find? And then what is the fucked up shit we can say about the fucked up shit that he finds on the internet?
Oh, man. It's what we do. We find people on the internet that are more fucked up than us and make fun of them because...
Reasons.
Yeah.
Well, it makes us feel like almost normal by comparison.
And
now I almost feel bad. It's
real. It's a reality. We can make Stabby somewhat feel bad.
God damn it! At this rate, we're gonna have like Sephenarian is like one of our fucking one of our cast members.
Oh my god, dude! Don't say the name.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You say it 3 times, you might show up.
Oh, you beat me to it.
He's the worst like superhero ever. He goes into things that he's not wanted or needed in and just makes them worse.
Nice.
Like, he doesn't actually solve anything or help anything.
He's just kind of there.
Somebody, William heard Zephaniah and just fucking left.
He's like, oh, don't say his name.
Did he go? No, I don't think William, because William posted, that cunt stream thing. William posted something on there, on that cunt stream, like, after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's a fan of Zephanorian and them, dude.
I don't think there's a lot of people that are fans of Zephaniah. Oh, that's 4 times. We're fucked now. He's gonna hack Sword.
Damn it! Yeah, I actually went back and watched the rest of that stream, dude. I don't know why. I was just intrigued by it for some reason. Did you know the whole thing with Liz and Sevi?
No, I know the whole thing. So, but just for a quick rundown for Engelhardt, Sevi is a trans gamer YouTuber person who moved in with another YouTuber named Liz in some sort of weird 3-way relationship with her and her husband.
Okay.
Eventually, according to Liz, all of these things are allegedly became somewhat, what do you call it, abusive towards Liz.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, I just, this is what people have said. I make no claims.
Yeah.
And then Sevi did a fundraiser for cancer, but somebody claims that she didn't actually have cancer. And everybody got really into like YouTube drams, like the whole everybody's angry and we're all gonna yell at each other. And then Zephaniah went around doing all sorts of weird shit trying to make it worse because that's what he does.
Right. That guy is. Oh man, it would be great if he was like as intelligent and as crafty as he thinks he is. Yeah. Because if that was the case, he wouldn't make shit worse being a fucking dumbass, dude.
So at one point, he tweeted to the FBI, "I under penalty of perjury, blah blah blah," because that fucking matters in Twitter.
Right.
I'm like, that's something that applies in a contract or under oath in a fucking courtroom.
Yeah.
It has no meaning.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I think it was Tonka. It was like, see, he wouldn't, he wouldn't do that. That's legal. Like, that's legally binding.
No, I think Tonka was making fun of him for that one.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't really clear because they didn't give him as much shit as they should have.
No, Tonka goes after Geek Thulu a lot, I think. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really follow the drums that much. They're kind of entertaining, but at a certain point, it just gets kind of silly. And like I said, it starts yelling. Yeah,
it's a little weird. Yeah, although I guess Sinatra Says and fucking Zephanorian didn't like each other or something. What was really funny was Zephanorian called fucking Sinatra Says annoying, and everybody on the stream fucking laughed. They're like, you're calling somebody annoying?
Yeah, from Zephanorian.
Pot calling the
yeah. Because at first, Zephanorian would claim that he was just trolling him and he was just having a good time. But then, like, if you say that he's annoying, then obviously it was more than trolling. And shit he was doing was obviously getting to you.
Well, the one thing I can say for Geek Thulu and for Sinatra Says is both of them are saying, like, look, I want more evidence.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, just jump on the bandwagon. They were both like, look, you don't really have any evidence. We haven't seen anything really concrete. And we can't make a judgment on any of what we've seen.
Yeah, even Schmeckle was saying that, though. He was like, look, we don't really, it's not that we don't believe you, but, you got to have proof on something like this.
Yeah, and then
you got to be able to prove something.
Sinatra, I think, donated something like a few $100 to Sevi, though.
Mm-hmm.
And he hosted a stream. He has a fairly large, much larger than our channel. I don't know if it's a fairly large channel.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I can see him being very upset.
Yeah, even Zeph has more subscribers, which is not much, but
people want to watch the train wreck, man. That's been through the dawn of fucking humanity.
Yeah. His lack of self-awareness to me is just fucking spectacular, dude.
Yeah, William put it very succinctly and very factually. Zeph is a fucking creepy dude.
Yeah.
And like, just to give you like an example, so there was this whole thing called Heart Progress, which is like a pro-pedophilia group. Like they want to make it mainstream, which everybody got really upset over that. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, that's never going to happen. Like I get that it's gross and you want to like turn them in and stuff, but you're really worried over that becoming a mainstream thing. I don't think you realize how dumb that is.
Yeah. No way society is going to accept that, dude.
It's just it's Nambola, right? From South Park.
It was more than that. They were pretty extreme, but
Yard.
The North American Marlon Brando lookalikes.
They flipped out and made this big thing of being like these superhero guys going after them and trying to expose them and reporting them to like police and the FBI over and over and over and getting a bunch of other people to do it. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of any of the early days of the internet with a lot of the pedophile stuff that went on, but there was a lot of people trading child pornography and all sorts of stuff going on in the early days of the web because it was much harder to trace back then.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people were criticizing the police and FBI for not taking action, and they didn't for like a couple of years. Well, as it turns out, what they were doing was collecting as much evidence on as many people as they could so that when they did finally act, they got all of them instead of just one or two. Because they were like, look, this is a really big issue with all this, you know, child porn, and some of these people are people that are actually making it. We want to get those people real specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be a really tough thing to do, to sit by when you know kids are suffering. That's got to be a fucking horrible position to be in, man.
But, you know, like I said, it's the early days of the internet, and they wanted to get as many of the people as they could, especially.
Yeah. You know, I totally get why they had to do that. And I'm just saying that can't be an easy thing to do, man.
So what really bothered me with the whole Hearts Progress thing is all these idiots decided to go and try to find out the names of everybody, like their real names and stuff, instead of just reporting it and letting the police handle it. And started posting like they're supposedly, they don't even, I don't think they even had any real evidence to prove it was actually the real person's names.
Yeah.
And
they acted like they did.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, well, now you just sent them running down a rabbit hole. So if the police were getting involved, you just fucked whatever investigation you had going on, I guarantee.
Yeah. Plus, they had to take the video down, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that video got taken down.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Actually, I know it did, because I think I had commented on it. It was something about, because I didn't know what was going on, and I kind of blindly assumed that they had, you know, the proof that they said they did, because they were kind of piling on Geek a little bit, and I had made a comment about it, like, you know, what's this problem? Again, way before I realized that they didn't necessarily have the hardcore evidence that they claimed. But I remember going back to check it later on, and that video was gone, dude. Yeah, they erased it, and they had to leave a bunch of shit out. They might have re-uploaded it, or something like that. But yeah,
they just gutted the shit out of it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, Geek, William Stenchever. Geek is a self-loathing asshole, hates everyone just like me. That's why I like him. Yeah, and that's the thing is, it turns out that all he was really saying is, look, we need to fucking proof. We're not just going to blindly fucking believe this shit just because you guys have a fucking hunch, you know, not showing any evidence at all.
But that's what the internet is for.
Or stuff that was potentially gained by illegal hacking that they were showing up online, and he's like, that's probably not a real good plan.
Right.
See, you're supposed to read everything on the internet and believe it for fact and know that it's true every single time.
Yeah, I like to. I hope that at least our audience assumes that all the articles I find are probably bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I've talked. I don't know if I did it on stream before, but I remember I've thought Zeph was a fucking manipulative scumbag for a long time now. Way back from the fucking failure days, dude. Pretty much when the Liz failure thing happened. Because I'm pretty sure he's the one that showed the things, the DMs to failure with Liz, where Liz was talking shit and all that.
Oh, was that what happened?
I think that was him, dude. Again, inserting himself into shit. And it's funny because on the stream he actually said something about how, you know, all you guys that say that I'm just with Liz trying to get, you know, sucking her ass so I can get the Sargon. Like, yeah, that's pretty much what everybody thinks. It's probably pretty accurate.
Oh, does Liz know Sargon?
Yeah, little. I know they've at least had. I know they've been on streams together. I don't know how well they know each other.
She's only on one stream.
Yeah, well, that and VidCon. I guess they might have hung out a little bit at VidCon.
Oh, sure. I mean, there was probably only like maybe 20 or 30 people in that group of like similar YouTubers that went to VidCon. So I'm sure they all hung out together and got to know each other.
Yeah, but I think I honestly think that's what he thought it was a lot deeper that he probably could. Maybe not, but knowing his nature, it kind of fits.
Well, I know like Ogre manages to get Sargon of Akkad on.
Oh, wow.
Because the Britisher is a friend of Sargon's. I don't really know for sure, but something like one of Ogre's regulars is a friend of Sargon of Akkad's.
Oh, gotcha.
So he that stream every so often. But you know, like in all honesty, I don't care what Sargon does.
Yeah, I stopped following him quite a while ago. Like I said, the candid shit, you know, and the way he acted with that, and pretty much since then, dude, he's gotten too arrogant, man.
Some of his stuff is really good, and some of his stuff is he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, but that British accent always makes it sound like he does.
But that's everybody, though, man. I'm sure there's a lot of shit I talk about. I'm fucking clueless on. I'm sure there's people who listen to me talking, be like, "Holy fuck,
this guy's full of shit." Yeah. At least the thing is, we wear that on our sleeve.
Yeah, let me make it clear. I'm not shit.
It's like this is not exactly hard-hitting reporting we're doing.
Yeah, that's us bullshitting on a live stream, but he'll do shit like that on a pre-recorded video. You know what I mean? Not just fucking live streams.
Yeah, and I feel like there's some sort of leeway when it comes down to like. There's good chance that we'll be wrong on something, and if it's live, we don't exactly have the time to research it. I mean, like, for some things, yeah, we probably should do our homework, but like, when certain things just kind of come up randomly, you know, it's obviously, you know, we can't sit here in front of it while doing it live and research a certain point and get the facts straight. If it's just kind of thrown in front of us spontaneously.
I go with the best that I know, and then
exactly,
like I research stuff on my own.
Yeah. Plus, the fact that nobody's watching helps tremendously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we got one. We got William.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of curious on that.
Akadano doesn't come in.
Yeah, he hasn't come in.
Yes. Stenchever, was that actually like in a creepy type, like hitting on her, or?
Yeah.
Well, I assume it happened.
Because you're going to talk to lots of people on the internet that you might not even know their age. As long as you're not being inappropriate, I don't know that makes that much of a difference. Because like I'm not a super big fan of Jem or Whitey, but like if they were just chatting with somebody and it turned out they were a 12-year-old, then like that's not.
Actually, I kind of like Whitey, dude. Gemini, not so much, but Gemini's fucking full of shit.
No, I think nobody's allowed to like Whitey.
Huh? What happened?
Thing? It's his shtick, right? Isn't that
who, Whitey?
Shtick? Yeah, I thought that was his whole shtick. Everybody hates me.
Yeah. Well, no, that's Gemini. I think he's the one that has all the downvotes, or like all his fans downvote all his videos and everything that he does.
Gemini. I thought that was Whitey. That was a Whitey thing.
Yeah. No, Whitey I think is okay. Although if that shit's true.
Although if you see collaborate enough times, I think Whitey shows up.
Yeah, he really does. He really does like the collab.
Collab?
Yeah.
Collab.
But, yeah.
Well, there's a third
He's doing that constantly.
Any minute now, Whitey's going to get here.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
He doesn't bother me. I was joking. I thought that was his thing. I don't really know Jem one way or the other.
No, Jem's. Yeah, I had a thing with him where I expressed my opinion about something, and he's like, "You're just saying that because Bering said that." And I'm like, "Fuck you, dude." Like, I can, is that what you do to everybody who disagrees with you? Tell them they're not thinking for themselves?
It's a reverse appeal to authority. Your opinion doesn't matter because somebody else said it, and you must just be saying it because that person did.
Yeah.
It's a very typical debating fallacy that people use.
Your thoughts need to be original every single time.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of it when it comes to people that argue about the
words.
What do you call it? The environmental temperature change. I forget what that's called. Global warming. Climate change.
Environmental temperature change.
Oh, gotcha.
So on both sides, I see a lot of that particular fallacy. Well, you're just listening to these scientists, but none of them know what they're talking about. Well, you're listening to these ones. They don't know what they're talking. And then like everybody's just making a bunch of fucking noise, and nobody's actually saying anything.
Yeah, but that was my issue with Gemini. I followed him for like a week because I was following the white YouTuber. For about a week, and then that happened, and then hearing them on the live streams, dude, it's like him and Whitey should kind of have the opposite attitudes, because Whitey's actually doing okay, but he's kind of humble about it, and Gemini thinks he's the greatest thing ever, and he kind of sucks.
I don't know, man. I don't like to get too. I don't really know either one of them that well. So I've seen one,
but yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen Gem in his stream.
No, that was pretty much the only time. Was the time he told me that I was only saying shit because Bering said it. You know?
Oh, I see what William is saying. William is saying that Chambers is hypocritical because she was all involved in the Heart's Progress thing, but didn't ever really start talking to Gem and Whitey about the 12-year-old girl that was commenting in the not safe for work section. Yeah, that's a little weird. I would probably ban somebody from the Discord if I knew for a fact they were a minor commenting on and getting into the not safe for work stuff. It's like I'm not their mom or their dad. I'm not responsible for what they look at.
I'm not going to touch that.
But I'm not going to sit there and let them actively do something on something that I'm hosting. That would be
that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's fucking weird.
And it's easier to take somebody out of it and then get the flack, get the flack from that person. Be like, hey, why the fuck am I getting kicked out? It's like, well, this is a certain segment that's kind of restricted.
For really be 18 plus or whatever.
It's like, and besides starting a forest fire, on the internet, it's easier just to be like, nope, and then continue on.
Like nothing personal. You're just not old enough to be fucking around in this.
Yeah.
Right. Get back in 6 years when you're legal.
Now, hey, man, your parents might not care, you might not care, but I don't want to be party to any of that. It's like giving a kid a cigarette or lighting a kid's cigarette.
Yeah.
Some fucking 10-year-old came up with a cigarette, you're not going to fucking give him a match. Right.
Yeah.
I don't care if you smoke.
No, I remember at meetings we had this. Right. Yeah, the meeting we had this kid that was 16 that was in the NA meetings, AA meetings, whatever, and he came and asked me for a cigarette. I'm like, no, I'm not giving you a cigarette. But then someone else would. So I'm like, what the fuck, man?
What is wrong with you? Well, actually, that is just what the fuck?
Yeah.
For an NA, why would for any sort of anonymous meeting, it doesn't matter. Why would someone just kind of hey, this is for a substance of some kind. Here, let's give it to a small child. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, no, the kid was allegedly in recovery, or trying to get clean.
Even worse.
One of the common things when you're dealing with addiction is addiction transference. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will take up smoking cigarettes or drinking a lot of coffee. And I'm talking not just drinking caffeine, but a lot of caffeine.
Oh yeah, no, because we are still kind of a habitual in that, that kind of. So, when your body's, asking for something, you're like, well, I can't have that, and you're really trying to convince yourself not to, you tend to gravitate towards something else you can use that you consider better in your mind. Which,
you find
if crystal meth is your thing, and you're trying not to do it, it's like, okay, well, then let's smoke a bunch of cigarettes and see if that does it for me. Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. We're going to take thousands of more cigarettes.
It just takes the edge off.
Exactly.
Dude, I knew one guy that said he drank at least a case of Monsters every day for fucking a long time. 24, at least 24 Monsters every fucking day.
That is a lot of caffeine.
And I'm like, dude, your piss must have fucking lit up the whole fucking neighborhood, dude.
That is not okay.
By that point, he just needs to pee in the 6.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody out there is aware of that, but after you drink a Monster and you piss, it's really bright yellow.
Yeah.
I've never drank a Monster.
Good.
I drank Amp.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever have some weird need to pee yellow, bright yellow, a Monster.
Now, if I wanted to change the color of my pee, I'd want it to be red, and only if I had to give a urinalysis sample to a doctor.
Damn, dude.
So that I could bring back the little fucking cup and be like, is it supposed to do that? It kind of hurt, too.
I was feeling a kind of a pinch.
Yeah, it kind of felt like my cock was on fire. That's normal, right?
Yeah, this is totally cool, right? Bright fucking red.
I've been doing this for 3 weeks straight.
Just, oh, yeah, you really don't say anything. Just to give it to the doctor, and they're like, your urine is red. Like, yeah, it's always red.
Yeah, it's like...
what color is your urine?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You look at him, he's the weird one. It's like...
Reek has yellow pee.
Yeah.
You should really go to a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You must be crazy, man. But the thing is, I have a very bad history with Monster and Amp.
Did you drink a lot of them?
I drank so much of that stuff. I had 2 different occasions of getting ulcers.
Jesus Christ! You drank till you got ulcers?
The thing was, I had, like, I did consume a lot of caffeine as a college student, and then on top of already not having a very like strong stomach, for the most part. And this was before my Crohn's ever hit me.
Oh,
and so it's just like, you know, I guess I always kind of wondered why it was, I guess, affecting me in such a way. And then after a while, I had to cut it out completely. And I legitimately had withdrawals from how much caffeine I was consuming. Like,
I didn't even drink that much when I stopped drinking caffeine on the regular, and it gave me withdrawals. I can't even imagine. Like, you know,
like it was like I would have such painful withdrawal headaches, and it's from something as silly as caffeine. Like, you would imagine, like, it wouldn't be all that terrible. Like, I couldn't keep my eyes open. Like, I literally just like couldn't focus, couldn't do anything. I was hanging out with like a buddy of mine, and he had these like little half cans of Pepsi. Like, they're like tiny little half cans that are adorable. And I was sitting there, I was like,
oh yeah, you see them in like hospitals and shit.
Yeah. And it's like,
go ahead, sorry.
Can I get at least one of those? Because this is destroying me. And so you gave me a little half can, like, you know, you're trying to wean off of caffeine. And I literally, like, even halfway into that, and my headache was almost like just
gone.
Well, yeah, caffeine helps headaches anyway, though. You know what I mean? Like Excedrin and that, like, has caffeine in it because it helps with headaches.
Exactly. Well, one of the things that a lot of people with migraines do is they'll pop 2 or 3 like ibuprofen and then down a soda. Because the caffeine with the ibuprofen makes it work better.
It's gonna be rough on your stomach, though.
Oh yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, were you drinking the Monsters and the Amp like without eating or like that kind of thing?
There'd probably be occasions when I was doing that. I mean, like, you sit there, I'd have night classes. You know, it might be a far distance from dinner, or I haven't had dinner, so I was going to eat afterwards.
All right.
It's just like you still need the energy to stay awake, and so you just go pound, you know, drink an Amp, drink a Monster, Red Bull. Back in the day when Balls was a thing, BAWLS.
Oh yeah,
Balls.
I remember that.
That was a wild drink.
The energy drink with Balls.
Never touched Redline. Redline was a very potent energy drink.
Dude, I remember chugging like 2 of those, dude, and like it was the only time that caffeine had ever affected me, dude. And, like, it made me a little loopy.
That stuff was heavy duty. Like I never wanted to touch it.
It's a pretty small bottle, and even that you're only supposed to drink like half of it, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to. One of the ones I drank that I liked a lot was Chronic, and it was mainly because of the name.
Yeah.
It was like Chronic with a cat.
Yeah. No, I like the Amp one because it was basically like Mountain Dew. It was almost the same as Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah, it's just a little more caffeine and whatever that taurine, guanine stuff is, all the other
vitamin B's.
Yeah. But it tasted good. The Chronic tasted almost like Amp, a little bit like Amp, but like more berry flavored than like citrus flavored.
So just like still fake.
Oh yeah.
I remember the Monsters. The Monsters taste like a liquid gumball to me, dude.
Oh God, no wonder I never drank those.
Yeah,
they're really sweet, dude.
Looking back on it, it's like, you know, those decisions you make that you're just like, wow, that's stupid. Like, those are really dumb.
Right.
Exactly that. Like, that's
what is it? Fucking Red Bulls smell like Fruit Loops, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know if I've ever. Have anybody you guys ever had them? So I'm curious what they taste.
Red Bull? Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever actually drank one, dude. That's kind of weird, but I don't think I have.
I don't know if it tastes like Fruit Loops, but I could see why. I can see why though.
They're really, really sweet.
Yeah, they're all very
ridiculously
sweet. Oh, wait. It's not good.
I think I have. It tasted like, if I remember correctly, it tasted like a really sweet ginger ale or something like that.
Ginger ale.
Maybe not. If it doesn't taste anything like that, then I probably haven't had it.
I mean, the good thing is it's been a very long time since I've had one because I don't want to destroy myself any further.
Jolt Cola, that's what I used to drink a lot when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. That one had a shitload of caffeine. I think that one was more than Dr. Pepper has, right?
I
don't know. I just drank it when I was a little kid because it was called Jolt.
Personally, I was legitimately surprised and walk out with, like, diabetes.
Oh, yeah.
Really, like, the amount of caffeine and sugar and nastiness, at least just, like, actually legitimately burning a hole in my stomach. Like, I got really close.
You were probably really active, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, as long as you're doing stuff to burn the sugar off, it's not as bad.
I was moving around a lot.
Yeah, it's when you're sitting around like I am all day and not really doing stuff, or like I was all night, I should say. When I was working graveyard, that's when that kind of stuff, when you drink too much sugar and stuff, can really fuck with you.
Yeah. See, that's why I just drink an excessive amount of coffee. That's totally
I drink. Yeah, I drink the double shot, the Starbucks. You know, that comes in the can, the double shot Starbucks.
I pounded one of those just before starting this.
Oh no shit! What do you drink? Which one do you like, the mocha or the white chocolate?
I usually go with the mocha, but there's like there's like a vanilla one that sometimes tastes pretty good.
Yeah, the hazelnut one's
tried
not bad.
the Mexican mocha.
No, I've never had that.
There's a little bit of spice in it. It's probably terrible for you, but there's a little bit of spice in it. That's a nice thing.
That's crazy.
I like the ones in the glass bottles. It was just like iced
frappuccino.
Yeah.
Oh, the frappuccinos. Yeah, I noticed the prices are really going up on those. On the frappuccinos, they're up to like over $3.50 or something a piece now.
God damn.
And they used to be like $1 or like $2. I mean,
Back in my day, they were
whenever
$2.
people and shit like that, I'm always like thinking better that I don't drink it anymore. Like $3.50 a piece. I'm like, I don't drink those. Sweet.
Y'all, the rest of y'all are fucked.
Or like cigarettes, man. It's like $8 a pack. Glad I quit 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or a year ago, whatever it was. Might be 2 years now, I'm not sure.
Also, a very nice habit I never got into. Smoking at all. Like, I'm really happy. Like, I even tried. Like, I actually legitimately tried it.
Tried it?
Because I was dating somebody at the time who did.
Oh, I remember her, yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, I'll give it a whirl. But it's terrible. It just did not work. Like, even dating here, like, when I didn't do it, my clothes still smelled like it, my car still smelled like it. Like, I smelled like an ashtray. And it's
yeah.
Dude, smoking's actually a really tough one to quit. Like for me, quitting the painkillers was a fucking nightmare. But compared to quitting cigarettes, it was a fucking cakewalk, dude. It was way easier to quit painkillers than to quit smoking.
Oh well, that's quite a step.
Right,
yeah, no, it's. I think it's more. I don't know if it's because obviously it doesn't really actually get you high or anything. But yeah, something about it. I don't. Maybe it's kind of sneaky because it doesn't get ridiculously expensive like opiates do. But yeah, apparently that plus nicotine apparently is pretty addictive.
Here, let's sidestep for a second.
Yeah, apparently tonight there's an active shooting going on at the Las Vegas hotel for a concert.
Wow!
Oh, wow!
Anybody who's involved in that, man, I hope you're safe.
Yeah, hearts go out to you, and really, I mean,
hopefully the police can resolve the shooter, put that guy or whoever it is down. I mean, I'm assuming it's a guy; it's rarely a woman. But hopefully they can put this down and quick and get as many people out safe as they can.
Didn't something just happen? The whole thing with the guy from the Seahawks. Didn't that just happen in Vegas?
I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Michael Bennett. He played for the Seahawks. Well, at first he claimed that the police were just profiling him and harassing him, and then the video came out that showed that he was actually they stopped him because when they said hit the ground, he took off running out of the fucking place. Yeah. So that's why they fucking stopped him. And he initially, before all the video came out, he tried to claim that they were just profiling him and it was police brutality. That's pretty much what started the fucking kneeling thing, dude.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, part of it, at least part of it.
So the Mandalay Bay, the Mandalay Bay is the casino, hotel casino it's at.
Wow.
They had to clear the 29th floor and working their way up to the 32nd floor.
Oh wow! So this isn't resolved yet?
Yeah, that's why I decided to go to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a thing. I'm guessing it's a thing that's right now.
One officer reported that civilians were trying to take patrol cars, but it's unclear why. I would assume to get away.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe this is like an Antifa fucking bust out. They're like, let's seize their cars and everything.
That's supposed to happen on November 4th. I don't think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot that you're supposed to tell them you're coming when you're a small organization that's going to take over the world's strongest military.
Yeah. 3 people were transported to the hospital so far that we know of. We're not going to sit and go over this all night because that's just gruesome, and I don't like to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's some sort of entertainment, but just, anybody who is there, man, I hope you're fine.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. Some fucked up shit.
Thanks, William, for pointing that out.
Yes, indeed.
That was going on. Yeah, it's always the same, man. Like, I'm not looking forward to the next couple of days when everybody politicizes. Like, it's, however many people died then. And they're like,
yeah, get them asking, are they Republicans? Well, good. Oh, they're Democrats? Then it wasn't good.
We need more guns, or we need more gun control instead of
yeah.
We need to find out why these people are going off the fucking edge and shooting people and figure that part out, because that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure out what's driving people nuts. That would probably be much more helpful and try to stop it, or at least where people can be educated and recognize it in people. Well, hey, this guy might end up shooting up a casino. Can we check him out?
Well, and then in other places where they have less guns, they get mad, like stabbing sprees. So it's not like it doesn't still happen. Just people going off and trying to kill as many people as they can.
Yeah. And honestly,
you want to concentrate on what's driving people.
So what steps can we take?
Honestly, the places where the gun control is the most lax, where people have the most guns, it doesn't happen as much because, people know that everybody's fucking armed. Like here in Arizona, Texas, everybody knows that almost everybody has guns, dude. So, it almost prevents it from happening.
It's almost all happened in gun-free zones. That is a fact. Virtually, or something like 85% of them or something like that happen in gun-free zones. But I don't really think that's the problem. Like, I mean, I get the people's point, like, arguing back and forth about that, but I just want to, let's try to find out how we can stop the shooting before it starts.
Yeah, get to the mental health aspect of it and try to stop it before it even gets there.
What's going on with our mental health system that these people are slipping through the cracks? Because clearly they have mental health issues. And,
right.
On the street, they shouldn't be able to be out there getting a gun in the first place. So, I mean, that's what I really want to work on.
Yeah, because I don't know. I doubt it's any of their first time, displaying any kind of psychological symptoms. You know what I mean?
A lot of the cases of the mass shooters, their family members have actually sought help for them.
Yeah.
They've actually been like, look, our son or our nephew or our grandkid or whatever, this person's really sick and they need help. I think they're going to hurt people and they shouldn't be out. And they got no response. So,
wow.
I don't know, where the breakdown is.
I mean, the one thing that probably does happen in a lot of states, it might be the same result, is funding isn't there.
Yeah, it could be.
So someone could be asking for help, and so we can't.
Well,
or we do something like how California system tends to do it.
Well, Reagan kind of fucked the mental health system a lot when he said that if they're not a danger to themselves or others, they should be allowed out. Because that's not always the best measure, if that makes sense. I've worked with a lot of clients who are just incapable of making decisions that will keep them safe. But they're not necessarily currently a threat to themselves or others. They're not violent, or suicidal. But
they should kind of change it to if they have the potential to be a danger, or something like that, instead of an immediate danger to others, themselves or others.
Well, and I can see having people go through the programs like where I work and similar sorts of halfway house kind of programs for mentally ill people, but some people just aren't ready or aren't ever going to be capable of living on their own. And I think that's something that the mental health system doesn't acknowledge. And I think funding isn't there to handle a lot of those people.
Right. Yeah, some people are just too goddamn crazy. It fucking sounds harsh and sounds horrible, but, unfortunately, that's the case, man.
Well, and hey, my job is devoted to helping people who have mental health issues become capable of living on their own. So nothing would make me happier than to be everybody can be helped, but sometimes that's just not true.
Right. Yeah, and I've seen stuff like that, where you work. A lot of places like that. Who knows how much shit that's prevented. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
There's no way of doing it, but you know, them having that structure, and I assume you guys have counseling for these people, right?
Well, yeah, we're the counselors. So, like, if
right.
Yeah, I've
yeah. So I assume that's
like,
tremendous.
Anxiety, depression, suicidality, all that kind of stuff. Lots of rage stuff.
Yeah.
And see, my experience was on the more emergency side of it.
Yeah.
Where it's like if someone did have a breakdown or if someone did have an episode.
If somebody had an episode that we couldn't deal with, then we sent them to
or if it was at a house or at a home because they weren't in a facility.
Yeah.
All right.
That, and that's that it's hard to handle that one the same way with the same kind of person.
Oh yeah.
Because
right.
Walking into that door, you do have an okay idea of what you're dealing with, but if they come in calm, 2 hours later they could be a different person.
Right, it's too unpredictable. That's the thing that makes me nervous about. I don't know if I mentioned it here. I've definitely mentioned it in meetings, but the like a dude that's way bigger than me doesn't really scare me, but crazy scares the shit out of me, dude, because it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And you don't know how far they're going to go and that kind of shit.
The basis of fear is the unknown. Like that's the very basic thing anyway. So
like a guy that's bigger than me, like for some reason I think I can kick his ass still, but even if I get my ass kicked, he's going to stop. Like if he knocks me out, he's probably going to stop. And with a crazy person, you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know if they're going to stop if they knock me out somehow. The way they're going to fight might be different, biting my ear off or something. That's what fucking makes me incredibly nervous. Crazy scares the shit out of me.
Like a little situation I was in with a guy who was just like kind of out of his fucking gourd. And it was a long time ago, before I even did what I did, probably before I even knew you. But we were
years
like
ago, once upon a time.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was a long time ago.
It wasn't too far from when we met, though. I think it's been about 11 for us.
Yeah, it was probably be a couple years before.
Anyways, your story.
But me and a bunch of friends were like going out to the coast, and we always stop at this one 7-Eleven that's on the way out there, and pick up like a couple like drinks or whatever. And this is before I was old enough to drink, so this would be a lot more than like fucking 12 years ago. But anyway, we were hanging out in the car, getting ready to go out to the coast, and this guy over like and his friends that were like jumping around and making a lot of noise and stuff. This one dude just suddenly flips, runs over, and starts punching the window of the car. And he's like, "What, you want to fuck with me? You think I'm funny? I'll fucking show you funny." And just flipping his shit. And everybody in the car freezes. And they're like, "Fuck, what are we going to do?" And I'm like, "Just drive away." But I mean, like a guy who's just going to come running at you and punching the window.
But you still, that's the thing. You kind of freeze up, like you're not used to that, and you're like, "What the fuck? I've never dealt with something like this." It doesn't even occur to you that hey, I can just drive away from this situation.
But I mean, like if it's some dude who's just front, I might think like, "Oh, I'll get out of the car and prove I'm more of a man." Yeah, at that age, I might have, but like I wouldn't now. But I mean, when I was 18, 19 years old. But
right.
even that like was enough to override that, like the basic survival instinct of like this guy is fucking out there.
Yeah, this is not a male display. This is an I'm insane display.
It's like the Rattler's rattle. Just get the fuck away.
Warning. Get the fuck out.
The guy had a machine gun or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too far into the shooting, William. I mean, like, 'cause it's I don't really know exactly what's going on.
God damn.
Stay away from the Vegas Strip. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know at least one other thing happened recently there, dude.
Yeah, it's all just.
Wonder why Vegas is getting all the crazies, dude.
It's all just.
Or maybe they just always have.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that.
Sorry.
Oh, some people. The thing is, like right now, a lot of people are making claims that they know like who's involved and what is it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of rumors flying around.
I don't want to really get too into that, William. I appreciate that you're letting us know, but I don't want to be like part of that like whole like making all these random claims and shit that I don't know, and that we really don't know yet. Like we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, none of it's been vetted. Like I said, that might all be true, but you can never tell this early because dumbasses like to fucking make shit up and act like they know for sure.
Well, he's saying there's a crazy bit of people running. You can hear the gunfire. No, I'm sure it's an automatic weapon. It almost always is with a lot of these shooters. They really get well armed because they plan these things out for a long time in advance. Usually, months and months in advance, sometimes years. There was a video that Mr. Matoker put out of a guy who ended up doing a shooting at the grocery store where he worked at, killing a few people. And this guy had been planning it for a year and had gone out and practiced shooting. And, he must have shot thousands of rounds at the range over the course of a year practicing, getting ready for the shooting. So a lot of these things, it's really well thought out.
That's crazy, man. Because, I used to be able to hold a grudge like anybody, but wow. Yeah. Well, again, there's obviously something more going on than just being pissed off about some. You know what I mean?
It's just a different thought process with some people.
Right.
It's not,
they're obviously mentally ill.
Even if it's something where, you always have the person that angers you. There's people that get under your skin. But as certain human beings, we have this idea of how far we take it.
Yeah.
And there's just certain levels and certain types of people that can't. It's not so much letting that go.
They're just angry at everything.
It's just that.
Yeah, it's kind of like society. It's kind of like angry at society as a whole, kind of thing, almost, right?
You get angry at a specific person, you kill that person.
Yeah.
And that's a rational thing.
Right.
It's not entirely rational, but it makes sense. Whereas this guy is just somebody who's angry and going to just shoot anybody. That's.
Yeah, just killing random people like that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of a hard mindset that's just kind of impossible to understand completely.
And that's the part of it where it's just there's some things that you can't make sense to where they came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not saying that this is the situation. Obviously, I'm not saying to claim for that. Right. But there's just every once in a while, it's why did they how did they come to this conclusion? It's there's
Jeffrey Dahmer. Why did he think he was going to bring people back from the dead? What? Yeah, what went wrong in his head?
We can figure out how they kind of systematically how their brains worked in a way, but it's just well, why do they how do they start pursuing that? It's there's always going to be more and more questions as you keep digging deeper, but it's mostly trying to hit at a certain point in time of someone's thought process to try to prevent it from happening, period. And
because if you can recognize that same trait in others, you can maybe.
So it's a very roundabout way of coming to that conclusion.
Well, there's a homicidal trio or something like that. The people that hurt animals and start fires and have weird sexual behaviors or something like that. I think that's what it is. Let me look that up because there's a thing for serial killers. It's predictive.
So torturing animals, what was it? Fire starting or pyromania, whatever you want to call it.
Homicidal triad. Factors that have been suggested in 1963. There's all three are a combination of the two.
The two or the three at least.
So bedwetting, cruelty to animals, and arson. Those are the three things. And it's bedwetting, and it's a weird age for it. So somebody who's a teenager wetting the bed for a while.
Oh shit! All right, I was gonna say, man, I kind of like burning, watching shit burn, and I wet the bed till I was 7. So that's kind of late, but I think I'm safe. Plus, I think I would imagine if I was gonna snap, I would have done it by now.
Well, this is in 1963, and I would personally, I think the wetting the bed thing is bullshit, and it looks like from just glancing at the wiki article that most people don't really agree with the third one. It's the animals and the arson combination is the one that generally,
and that might be more of an excessiveness, enjoying those two things.
Yeah,
it's
Well, it's one thing if you burn ants with a microscope, and another if you're putting firecrackers up a dog's ass.
Yeah.
You know, or like cutting squirrels and sticking them out on your fucking lawn on sticks and shit.
Yeah, like actually like mutilating animals and like actually literally torturing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such as Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer had a lot of history of mutilating and torturing animals. So.
Yeah.
And keeping some of the dead ones, because that's fucking.
Yeah, well, he was going to bring them back to life.
Well, I know
apparently
the animals, but he was his whole goal with the men that he killed was to bring them back as sex slaves.
Oh wow!
He would kill them.
Why did I never hear about that? I don't remember hearing about any of that when the whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing happened.
The reason I heard about it is one of the people that I used to work with in one of the graveyard shift jobs. I used to work in graveyard shift in an assembly place, and because of the way it was set up and there were so few people working the shift, you could take like a 4-hour lunch.
Oh, yeah.
You could come in and work 4 hours, take a 4-hour lunch, and then work another 4 hours and go home because you could work a total of 12, but you didn't have to. But they just asked us if we would be willing to stay that long.
Paid lunch?
And this, well, if one of us would be willing to stay long enough to close up in the morning, and then eventually they gave one of us keys so that nobody had to stay till the morning, so that we could just lock up and take off. But this dude was just hanging out because he needed a ride. So he would, you know, work for 4 hours and then go watch a movie for 2 or 3 and then work for the rest of the shift.
Mm.
And he was really into Jeffrey Dahmer because he had not into, like, but he would watch, like, what do you call it? Documentaries on, like, serial killers. And he had one on Jeffrey Dahmer that we watched.
Okay.
It was really creepy, especially, like, in the middle of the fucking night. Like,
Jesus.
bothered by stuff, but
He, like,
the Jeffrey
lurks
Dahmer
into
thing was
if he
pretty
lurks into the
gross.
darkness, it's like, I'm going to watch my documentaries.
Yeah. Oh, no, that dude wasn't that bad.
Oh, okay.
We had a fucking dude who cut, like, he was a cutter.
Ooh.
And I'm talking, like, stars on his fucking face cutter. Like, fucking, and he would tell us all about it.
Wow.
And, like, he would fucking bleed himself into, like, containers and, like, and shit. And he'd be like, you know, I figured out how much I can lose over the course of, like, a week without it being dangerous and making me
Wow.
And he would be getting, like, really graphic to the point where we were finally like, look, man, we all like you. You're a really cool guy. But you got to take it easy on this stuff. It's really fucking disturbing.
Yeah, like stop telling us about it.
It's like we'd rather you stop cutting, but short of that, if you could just like take a break between stories,
Right.
a little bit of cutting story goes a long way, sir.
Shorten the cutting stories, add more fluff.
Yeah. Well, we didn't want him to feel like he couldn't share.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was almost like a family because there were so few of us. There was only like 4 or 5 of us that worked that shift.
Yeah.
There was four dudes and one chick who would occasionally show up. So it was like, you know, the 4 guys, and we were like, you know,
just broing it up for all that long.
Oh, you know, you spend 8 hours in the middle of the night with no other fucking interaction with anyone.
Nothing else to do.
12 hours, you know, nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We'd put like bocce on the fucking carpet. And like, one dude made these little fucking wood bocce balls and we'd play it on the carpet.
Your graveyard shift sounds a lot more fun than mine did.
It was just assembly. And so there'd be a lot of times when we would have things in the oven for testing or something like that. Because we were, it was a company that made microwave circulators and isolators, and we would have to tune them to a certain frequency.
Yeah.
And then everything would have to go in the oven to check it that it, like, you know, at extreme high temperatures and extreme low temperatures, it still worked at the right frequencies.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of time when you would just have everything you were working on in an oven for like an hour. You know, and there was just nothing else to do at that time because maybe they didn't have any product ready to be tested, or, you know, for whatever the reason was.
But see, mine out of context sounds terrible because a lot of times during the night I just watch people sleep.
Oh, yeah.
So just hearing that one phrase going like, I watch people sleep at night, I got paid for it.
I stand over it. I rake a knife across my face, kind of over my stubble, as I watch them sleep.
And he does have a little bit of that, so that makes, you know.
See, that's the scary thing is this: I shave and I'll sit there and this is less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I just started to get fuzzy. Like it's the worst thing ever.
You actually grow faster than I do, man.
It gets ridiculous, man. I go mountain man status in a hurry.
I just decided to have a beard this winter because I feel like it's going to be cold. I have a feeling because summer was so hot. But actually, part of my job before I was doing a sleep overnights was watching people sleep.
Yeah.
Every hour, I'd have to go and check everybody in their room.
Most of the time, when I'd have the polar opposite of that during the night, I guess it was a hit and miss. Because when they're awake, it's like, okay, well, I have to be a little more alert. It's easier to stay awake, all that fun stuff. Maybe you believe in chit chat from time to time, so you at least have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of it, you'll have people like, I'm just here to fuck with you.
Yep.
And so they'll do everything in their power that they know that's not going to get them in actual trouble, but we have to be attentive enough to make sure they don't feel like they can actually push further. Yeah. So it's like that happy middle ground that a lot of these SOBs will really, they'll know. And they're going to work the gut.
we have some
They'll know how to be annoying without actually breaking the rules, basically.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things that's interesting is we give out meds, and we have to observe the clients take the meds.
Yep.
So there are certain clients who have to go last, because if they go first, they'll take 10 fucking minutes to take 4 pills.
Yeah.
And they'll sit there and just take one at a time in this really slow, ritualistic process to piss off everyone else.
Yep.
And to be the center of attention. And if you tell them, dude, stop fucking around and just take your medication, you could actually get in trouble, which is ridiculous.
Right.
I had somebody where he would purposely stand right at the edge of the doorway.
Yeah.
And then kind of look towards the exit, trying to lean that way, and then look at me, and then look straight, and then kind of have this kind of fake juke going on. And at first, he had some people sitting there. I had some newbies with me, and they're sitting there getting all alert. I'm just take a breath, stand back. And I literally, this is where you learn these things. I stood there for 20 minutes just staring at him.
Yeah.
Straight, barely blinked, stared straight through him. And I was like, the instant you move forward, the instant I'm dragging your ass back into that room, because that's the whole point of it. He knew exactly where he could be without me having to get involved, and
he knew he could get on your nerves.
Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, I'll just stared at him, and I was like, hopefully at some point you think I'm just staring straight into your soul, and you go back and sit down, and you fall asleep, and he did eventually. But it's just I should put it in as little effort, and that's what you learn. You put in as little effort as you can, where you can go the entire night.
I had a dude who wouldn't sleep at night, and this was intentional. He would intentionally stay up all night and then sleep all day. And the day staff, one of the things that the company I work for is notorious about when I was working graveyard shift is the day shift would just not bother to keep people out of their rooms. They weren't supposed to be in their rooms during the day. But day shift, if they were in their rooms, they would just not do anything because it was easier and they didn't have to do work. And they would literally just let people sleep all day. So, of course, they're up all night. But this one dude would come down in the middle of the night and start trying to cook food from, the next night's dinner and shit. At one point, he was trying to fry up some fucking chicken, and I'm like, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of the kitchen. We eventually had to lock the kitchen, and, anybody that wanted anything from there, they'd have to, go through me to get to it. Yeah.
Fucking wild.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, that guy was such a pain in the ass. And then we had this one chick who would fucking, and I'm not exaggerating here at all, make a peanut butter sandwich with about a cup of peanut butter between 2 slices of bread.
Ooh, God.
Damn. And it was a good 2 or 3 inches thick, and there'd be maybe about a half a cup of jelly.
Jesus Christ.
My belly hurts. It won't feel better unless I put peanut butter in it. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I eventually just had to be I don't care if your stomach hurts. You can't have it.
That's you are legitimately filling your body with half a container of peanut butter.
Oh, it was so gross.
That's unreasonable.
And now, mind you, I love peanut butter. And one of my favorite snacks is you get a couple of spoonfuls of peanut butter and you just drizzle a little tiny bit of honey on it, and then you just eat a little bit. You eat little bits at a time.
I can get behind
it's a great little dessert or a snack or something.
Yeah.
But it's not fucking a pound of peanut butter, half the jar of peanut butter at once.
If anything, that would.
Dude, I like peanut butter on toast, man, because it gets the peanut butter kind of melty.
Yeah.
Really good shit. And then I would usually do that, and I would actually drip either
honey or Nutella over it, dude.
Yeah, both of those I've done. My dad does peanut butter and butter.
Ew.
Like on a sandwich, cold.
Ew. I don't know about that one.
That's
I've tried
weird.
it. It's weirdly, it's not terrible. It's not great either. It's just sort of like, it's a weird combination.
See, and I
Different, huh?
greasy.
like I guess I'm a little more. I guess it's a little simple. Like just peanut butter and saltine crackers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or Ritz, dude.
Oh yeah, that
Ritz.
too.
Graham crackers.
Although, you know what's really good
okay.
on Ritz? Graham crackers is great. Tuna fish is really good on Ritz crackers, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I see,
Fucking
but I
love
like
that.
the sodium with like the salty taste.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
peanut butter. I think it just.
I used to do pretzel sticks. Peanut butter. Just stick the end of the pretzel stick in the peanut butter. So good.
Hey.
Yeah. You know what my grandmother used to do, which I really liked, was she would put on a ham sandwich. She would use butter. She would butter the bread for a ham sandwich. That's really
I've seen that,
good.
but I've never tried it. I'll have to try that.
Yeah. Have you ever tried? Did you ever try the other one? What was the other one I told you? Oh, peanut butter and bananas, dude.
I haven't
You
tried
tried that
that yet. What I need to try with the peanut butter and the bananas, I usually do like peanut butter oatmeal, where I'll just make like a bowl of oatmeal and then put like a tablespoon or two of peanut butter in it. And I'm thinking like the halfway step between getting to peanut butter and banana sandwich. Is
Yeah.
slicing bananas on top of that.
Yeah, that'd be
Banana
interesting.
on
dude.
top
All
of
right,
that would be good.
I'm gonna drop a weird food on you. So start basic. You get a bagel, get some cream cheese on it, put some sweet pickles on that sumbitch.
Sweet pickles.
Yeah.
Really?
Sweet pickles.
Yeah.
It is an interesting flavor. It is a really interesting taste.
And I love sweet
Yeah.
pickles.
It's to me it's very situational, but it is actually pretty good. Like,
Hey, I'm not gonna knock it, man. I put peanut butter on frozen burritos.
yeah.
You know,
Wow.
Yeah, I don't like any.
it
You know, it-
strangely goes with it, man. It really does.
It's weird because I love dill pickles. Like they're one of my favorite foods, and I hate every other kind of pickle.
Oh man, we just
Like I can't eat bread and butter pickles. I can't eat sweet pickles, dude. But I fucking love dill pickles.
we got Polish style dill pickles, and holy shit, those are good. It's like a
Yeah.
dill pickle, but with like a zesty something else in there.
Like, how do we get the food? I love that.
I don't know. We got-
Oh wait, it was you talking about the kitchen story.
Oh yeah, the
The
chicken
excessive
wings,
amount
the
of
giant
peanut
fucking
butter.
sandwiches.
I got you.
Oh, and then
This is why the show works for all three of us because we are all stream of consciousness people.
man. Oh, I mean, we should be glad we're not onto like bukkake or something weird. You know,
Well, we weren't, but now we are. Fuck.
Now we have
that
to talk
actually
about
made me think of
bukkake.
something. So, one of the clients where I work is reading through the book The Secret. I don't know if you guys have heard of
wow.
that, but essentially where it's essentially if you just concentrate on something enough, the universe will bring it to you.
Yeah.
And the way I know that doesn't work,
I've been asking for a lot of money for a long time,
no,
and I still don't
if it
have.
had worked, there would have been a fucking string of Asian porn stars that were confused as fuck at my front door when I was 13. Like, just every day they just showed up being like, why am I here? If that shit worked. Just let me tell you, man, I'm focused.
More than anything I've ever focused on in my life.
I don't know why, but I've been willed to come here.
And there'd be like some lingerie models on the side, you know, just
Yes.
hanging out.
Right?
It's
Just
amazing.
waiting in line.
How did this
Just
happen?
a line around the block, dude.
Yeah, so like that's how I know The Secret is bullshit. It's like if that had worked,
Right.
it wouldn't have just been my house. It would have been like all over the fucking planet.
Yeah.
We'd be very busy. Very, very busy. So if we're swapping stories, I'm wondering, did I ever swap or share the hand sanitizer guy story?
No, the hand sanitizer guy. That sounds good.
So for this one in particular, I started feeling bad for this guy, and then he turned into a huge asshole, and so then I started feeling less bad for this guy. So he was the unfortunate end of a hit and run, but he was also smashed and wandering in the street.
Oh,
So he got hit, and then the guy drops, pretty much dumps him at the ER, and then speeds off. And so the guy like fumbles.
yeah. At least he did that. I've
The
known
guys-
people who were left on the side of the road.
Yeah, and so the guy fumbles his ass into the ER, and we get him a room, get him all situated. And so we're like, looking through his stuff. You can smell it on him that he's blasted. And go through the normal procedure. Doctor comes in. The guy just starts to mouth off.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And so this particular doctor doesn't want to take any shit from anybody. And so he's like, okay, when you're calm, I'll deal with you. And he just walks the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, not going to have any of it. Which, is fine and dandy. I can understand that. You don't want to deal with somebody who's just going to be an outright asshole when they're just there to help. But we're the ones that have to deal with it if the guy wants to try anything.
Yeah.
Or if he's going to mouth at somebody, he's typically going to mouth at us. So he pops himself into the starts walking down. The doctor starts walking down the hallway. The guy pops into the hallway, tells him to go fuck himself. And there's a little hand sanitizer container, like a little dispenser sitting on the wall. And so he's like, fine, I'll take care of it myself. And goes, dooka, 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 dooka. And so, pause for a second. So this guy's been hit, and he probably rolled around on the asphalt, so he's all scraped up, banged up, but bruised. So his legs are nice and jacked up. And so he takes this glob of hand sanitizer and just goes, bah! Just smacks his leg with it. On a big scrape.
Oh, yeah, not a good. That's
right when he does it, he freezes like a statue.
I bet.
And you could just see him, like I think it was even the recoil of his hand. Like, he stopped his hand after it and just, took about 2 seconds for him to realize what he just did.
Right.
He just screamed and then fumbles his ass back into his room and goes headfirst into his gurney and just, is just crying. And as much as I feel bad for the guy, it's like, obviously that was a shitty situation to be in, getting hit by a cart, duh.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Then you're an asshole.
Find it humorous when someone's being an asshole, and they totally just get a nice slap of karma, literally a slap of karma, and it's. I had to hold myself so out of focus to not laugh at that. Even my supervisor is having trouble.
The only way that could have been better is if immediately when he slapped his hand down, he went, I immediately regret this decision.
Oh, man, what was it? I saw a street fight video of just a drunken fucking brawl. Yeah. And some big old dude goes over and picks up the fucking manhole cover like he's going to use it as a weapon.
That thing's
and then immediately steps into the manhole and hits himself in the face with the fucking manhole cover.
Damn, dude.
Ever. And he was fine. You could tell, after he was still, kind of, moving around and,
Yeah.
So you could tell he was all right. So it wasn't too bad, but still, it was pretty fucking funny.
Heavy. That's manhole cover.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to pick up.
Head very proudly before he stepped right into the manhole cup that he just opened.
Yeah. Because that stuff's straight cast iron. I think
No, yeah.
No, yeah, that's not a garbage can lid or something, dude. That's fucking solid shit, dude.
It was in Russia, so maybe not.
Maybe not.
It might not have been cast iron. You never know. They might make it out of something else over there. I don't know.
A lot of the stuff we have for and this actually comes from job experience. A lot of the stuff like manhole covers and underground work is straight that wrought iron. Yeah. It's just stupid heavy, stupid durable.
They're incredibly heavy, dude.
I've tried to lift those things. I can't.
I don't know if I could either.
I might be able to get it an inch off the ground without and then try not to pull something.
The manhole covers are pretty well in there. There's not a lot of places to put your hands. You have to get a special tool to get in and
pry that shit open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even the ones where it's the stuff on the curb, that's solid concrete.
Yeah.
And even maybe something the size of a computer screen is still 50, 60 pounds.
We've had to get those off in my neighborhood a couple times, and it's usually 2 or 3 guys doing it.
Oh yeah.
Because
I just looked it up. They're 110 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
One of the neighbors down the street had kittens, and it would always get into the fucking storm drain during the summer, so we had to get those damn manhole covers off a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And it was always 2
wow.
or 3 guys would go down there and be like, all right, let's take it off again, so somebody can climb down again and get the cat again.
God damn.
Shit.
One of the other things that we used to have to do occasionally, unfortunately the guy passed, but there was a an older guy who lived down the street who was missing a leg from like diabetes.
Oh, dang.
And every so often he would fall, and the guy who was there for his son wasn't like he was just too big for the guy to pick up on his own. So it would take two of us. We all have to go down there and pick the guy up again and get him back in his bed or in his chair or whatever. Because I mean, the other thing was you could call the fire department and they'd come do it, and he would never get charged. He just felt bad about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you know, it's not like I was doing anything anyway. So yeah, I can't go help some guy get off the floor. I mean, what else? You know, instead of playing video games for 10 minutes.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Do your good deed for the day. Get this guy back up.
No, that's some solid. That's some solid gameplay that you're missing. So it's like,
yeah,
tough call.
But man, 110 pounds. I can lift and carry 110 pounds, but not easily.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be.
I certainly wouldn't want to use it as a weapon.
I can definitely do that. Not over my head.
Yeah.
But I can,
it almost makes it harder that it's so compact. Like 110 pounds, like in a person, like stretched out, or you know what I mean, like distributed over a whole person, is almost easier to deal with, dude.
I've found from lifting very heavy objects because I do that. I used to go out to the beach and move driftwood around because I could, and big rocks.
Nice.
The more compact it is, the easier it is to handle. The bigger and the more floppy it is, the harder it is to handle.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
If something's really long and weighs a lot, one side can tip down or the other side, it can really throw it off very quickly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, dude. Yeah.
Like one of the
I did not think that through.
like if we're talking about the distribution of weight, like one of the requirements for like Police Academy was dragging 160-pound weight, like body person.
Can you pick it up?
You can pretty much the whole tactic was to do a double underhook around the back, and so you pretty much
just toss it over your shoulder.
Some people, if you can put 160 pounds on your shoulder, you'll die. But some people typically would just do a double underhook, kind of give it a hug, and then just scoot backwards.
Oh yeah, I can pick up 160 pounds. I probably still could.
And so like
I used to pick up something like 360, 400 pounds.
Yeah,
that's when I was in much better shape though.
And there's some people who are just like the size of a truck. They're just like, I'm just gonna pick this up.
Yeah.
I can still do. I can still do curls with 3-gallon water things, dude.
Yeah.
Does that qualify me to be able to lift that much?
I have no idea.
I'm curious how much 3 gallons of water weighs.
It is surprisingly easy to pick up something when you're doing it with the double underhook way, because like the legs still kind of hang out on the bottom. So it's
about
like
25 pounds for the 3 gallons.
Oh, that ain't shit, dude.
Yeah, it's about 25, maybe a little more than 25 pounds.
curling 25 pounds. That's not huge, but it ain't small.
That seems more than that, dude.
Well, when I would lift weights, like for weightlifting, I would only do like 10 or 15, so it's more than I would do.
Yeah, because I lift about 25.
Yeah.
So
Well, when I use like the curling bar, I use the 40s. But I think I assume that's 20 on each side, right? And lifting both arms.
I lift, bro.
How much you bench?
Always,
Not a lot.
working on stabilizer muscles and endurance. So instead of lifting like a very large amount of weight a couple times, I would always lift like, 10 or 15 pounds, like, 20 reps, or, like 3 sets of 20 reps. But I would do it extremely slowly.
Okay.
No, that's right.
You can kind of see what I'm doing. I don't know if I can't show it on the camera, but think like maybe
Slow jerking a very large dick.
like maybe a quarter. Yeah, I actually, I would one set like that.
Got it. I'm locked in. I got it.
Hey, everyone knows that motion.
Well, I would always do 1 set overhand, 1 set overhand, and 1 set to the side. So when I lifted curls, but I would do it at maybe a quarter the speed that most people would, maybe even slower than that. And so there was working on all the little muscles that keep your arms stable from side to side, as well as the lifting muscle, and just making it like last longer because I didn't want to get too big. So it was really
all right.
Yeah.
And I figured if I got too much bulk on, and it would make me less flexible for dancing. So I was always working on endurance when I lifted weights.
See, that's the one thing that's interesting is because like I haven't quite had that. I guess I can understand that because I try to lift a lot, and when I feel like I'm bulking up, I feel like it's different to move.
Yeah.
And I'm also a huge dance nerd, so it's kind of like I want to be able to be a little more light, but I do like that kind of feeling of just like I feel big.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Because I'm not.
I'm already big though. I'm fat too, but I'm like I've been like that, big guy who can like lift all the weight. So like to me, it was never like, man, I need to get stronger. It was always just like, oh, well, I'm working out to lose weight. So
Going the opposite direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I only ever worked on my arms or my chest for the most part. Like I never worked out my legs.
Or
I would work them out, but only as what do you call it, like on the elliptical machine or something.
Oh, okay.
I would never have to ever actually lift weights for my legs or any other part.
Which I really wish we had your camera working. I do. This shirt is so perfect.
I got my camera somewhere, and I think it might be the top drawer right there.
Okay, because I am currently rocking. I have no clue. It's staplers and a bunch of shit. I'm currently rocking a shirt from one of my last comps that I went to that literally says Dance Geek on it.
Because,
nice. It's truer words could not have been spoken or written about.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like to see a picture of that. So take a picture of that shirt and then your junk for scale and send it on through.
Either that or I can just, maybe spend one of these podcasts at my own desk and I can just have my camera on because I'm the only motherfucker with a camera. with a properly functioning camera.
Yeah, I've got a camera on my little laptop, but I can't imagine it's any good.
Or I use my phone, which is surprisingly effective.
You can open the drawers.
Yeah.
Well, start with the top drawer just to take a look again.
Honestly, most of the cameras now most phones nowadays have really good fucking cameras, man.
Like the times when I've been watching the dog and stuff like that, which actually that'll be happening in about 2 weeks. I will definitely be on dog duty again, and so you'll get live from someone else's house.
Next drawer down.
Yeah. Engelhardt alone with the dog and the peanut butter. Nice.
Yep.
Let those jokes flow.
It might be in the third drawer, but
it's getting warmed up.
As slow as it would be. I'm curious as where the fuck my camera went.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like tripping on now.
Yeah.
It's hiding. It's hiding somewhere. Well, if anything, this is a good reason to get another one. A more proper functioning, better quality camera.
One that isn't super close up. I found it.
Nice.
I found the camera.
Findy did the camera.
I'll read back up on the shelf. Yeah, some people have the elf on the shelf. I just have fucking weed.
I think that's better.
Given the choices, yeah, I would agree.
Well, actually, also to stay on the topic because I only have so much time left, and then you can be done talking about dancing. I had a comp actually last night. Those were more for fun. Oh wow, that's actually perfect.
Nice.
Spot on.
Dance geek.
There we go.
Even though it's backwards. Hey.
Yeah. Looking good.
Yes.
And we'll just keep that on you and keep that selected for the stream.
It's a little creepy, and the mic's in the way, so I have to get awkwardly close to you and then hunch down. Be like, no.
You look like Vernaculous's brother.
I look like what?
Vernaculous, like you're related to. You don't know him. Never mind.
I don't know him. That's the problem.
Yeah. Not really that much. So never mind.
Oh well, you could say yes. You totally look like him, and be like, okay, super.
Dude, you could be like a stunt double or something.
Actually, that would be a very awesome living. Somebody's stunt double.
Yeah, it's not bad, man.
I would enjoy that.
Okay.
I want to be Rosie O'Donnell's stunt double.
Basically,
probably not big enough.
As much as you possibly can, and
give it everything.
A lot of pussy.
Yeah, I've been working up to it. So I've been training for that, apparently, without knowing it, for quite some time.
This is what I've trained for. My body is ready.
I didn't know it, but all this time I've been training to be Rosie O'Donnell's stunt double.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. The fun part now will be when Engelhardt has to go there. It'll just be like a camera picture of a fucking like empty room in my bed.
Well, you turn the camera, genius.
Why would I turn the camera? I just make it leave it on.
Well,
Make it as weird as possible.
why would you face it towards your bed?
Dude, what is it? Okay, hold on a second.
He's still presenting you, dude.
It's not getting any better. It's not. Help me. Once the camera
What are you
turns,
doing?
once the camera turns off, I'm gonna perk my butt cheeks really hard. So God, I mean that's so uncomfortable. What are you trying to find?
Well, amongst all
I think
the
it's
things,
Amongst some porn. That's some porn.
This is something I like to tweet to people occasionally just to fuck with them.
Awesome.
2 clowns fucking a chick. That's definitely funny. I can't put that on the stream. That's definitely
That's just the shit I don't want to see on your computer.
Oh, here we go.
He's actually got a green screen behind you, and it looks like a guy's fucking your ear. It's weird.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. That's perfect.
Yeah, jerk him off, dude. Perfect.
Yeah. It feels.
So this is the thing I did because I thought it would be funny. I took a picture of some stuffed animals in a compromising position on my bed.
What are they doing? A fucking human centipede?
Somebody?
Yeah.
Essentially.
I don't
Well, you
know
see, the elephant is giving the puppy a trunk job. And this guy's fucking the elephant from behind.
What is wrong with you?
Just when you think Stabby isn't, you've hit the bar for bizarre, Stabby raises it up, dude.
I got it from another angle just in case they.
Oh my god. Fucking Stabby, dude.
What the fuck?
To be clear, I did that specifically because I thought it would just be funny to take the picture and then tweet it to people.
Why would you do that?
Literally just
Dude.
tweet people for a laugh, man.
Fuck.
Dude, I love the fact that he not only thought about it, but actually fucking did it, dude.
Like there's not simply it's like I'm just gonna mush these things. It's like, you know what? I need to get 2 different angles. Like, that's the extra step.
The screen on the camera is so small. You can't know if all the good details came out.
I love your fucking reasoning, dude. It's amazing.
What the fuck?
You have a beautiful mind, Stabby.
Oh god.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, this is what I like about Stabby is he makes my sense of humor seem totally fucking reasonable.
I'm a creator. I've shown this on before. So.
Oh, exactly what it is. Oh, god.
I've shown this on the stream before, but yeah, this is the King of Condoms.
Yeah.
Cut cleaners to make them look like little flowers.
It's moments like these.
That's not awkward and weird.
It's moments like these where I wonder why I'm friends with you.
You know you're going to end up being part of Stabby's skin suit. You know that, right?
That's funny, but the stuffed animal thing, man. You need help. That's a warning sign, kids.
Let me see if I can find that. I can't show this one on the stream. Oh, this one I can draw on the stream. Never mind. I can do it.
And for some reason, after this stream, Engelhardt never wanted to appear in person with Stabby again.
Yeah, now my face is on that shit.
Here's another one I like to tweet.
Here we go.
It's I don't know what's going on. But
God damn, dude.
This
Look like they're
an internet search. This is literally on your computer. Like that's.
Yeah, well, there's nothing illicit. There's just weird shit. So, like, you know, if the FBI ever decides to investigate my computer, they're just going to be, like, getting more and more uncomfortable. Like, there's some pictures of, like, kids shitting on plates because I send those to Facebook. They want my ID. So apparently Facebook doesn't think
Yeah, what the hell else?
is my real name. And so they've locked my account. And every so often I get the chance to send them an ID to prove that it's my real name. So you get to send like three pictures of your ID.
Yeah.
So it's always 3 different pictures of a chick shitting on a plate.
Well, yeah, that's.
I don't want to use.
What else are you gonna do?
I just figured, I might as well make somebody's life miserable.
Or make their day. Depends on who gets it.
They might be into it, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You don't be like, I was having just a horrible day, and then I got this picture of this chick shitting on the plate, and it was just glorious from that point on.
This crazy bastard decided to send me pictures of a chick shitting on plates.
I mean, isn't my real name, so I don't have a driver's license that's going to prove that. But on the other hand, I can send them pictures that are just incredibly disturbing. So,
Okay.
and I figured those are at least not illegal.
God.
At least I don't think they're illegal.
Oh my god.
I can't imagine having a picture of a chick shitting on a plate is illegal. But, obviously they have yet to accept it as a proof of my identity. And
the problem is they actually
they
accepted
stopped
it.
accepting pictures.
I
I can't send them anymore.
I can't imagine why.
At least I don't think I can send them anymore.
Maybe you're just banned for temporary reasons. So
They're
you
just like,
you can
we're
do
not
it in a
going to let
month.
this guy do anything with Facebook anymore. I'm going to eventually start another
Christ.
Facebook and another email.
That's
I
fucking
blamed
terrible.
some dude and he reported me. I think that's what happened. So
How did they look at Skittles McStabby Pants and think that was somebody's real name anyway?
Like, that's a person. They have just really fucked up.
yeah, they had that whole thing with
Yeah.
real name
Yeah.
for so long. I'm amazed I lasted as long as I did.
That's
I only
probably.
got blocked maybe like 4 or 5 months ago.
Wow. Interesting.
I guess I did so little on the site that it just never hooked any one of their algorithms to catch you.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, they eventually just like blocked it. I figured it was coming sooner or later. So I should probably. I think I keep in touch with like some family members, like my half sister out in like Arkansas and shit. So I should probably get that unlocked at some point.
Probably good. I might need to.
Oh, Englehart needs
It's
to go.
hitting that time, and this
Are
pretty
you gonna-
face has to catch some beauty sleep. So
Are you going to be able to survive for?
I don't know. No one looks this
Baseball?
good.
Yeah, I'm going to read Harrison Bergeron to the chat while you're gone.
Here we go. I will at least put something up.
Hey, at least
Oh, yeah.
kill the cam.
You presented long enough here.
And then I'll walk
I'm
Englehart
presenting.
out, so we'll be back in just a moment. Or I'll be back in just a moment. He won't.
Wait.
All right.
I
Have
wanted
good
to-
mounting.
Okay, that's the thing I just read. So I'm glad I got to join you guys again. And so I guess I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, Englehart.
All right, have a good one, Engelhart.
Yeah.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, man.
Have a good night.
Later, everybody.
Be just a moment.
Bye-bye. All right.
I need to mute. Mute on.
Yes.
All right. So we finally got rid of those fuckers. Oh, sheesh. Okay, they're muted. Right on. Okay. What the hell do I have in my bag of tricks? Let's see. All right. Oh, this is something I noticed earlier, man, is, I don't know, I assume anybody listening to this is familiar with Francesca Ramsey. The thing I find really weird is I can't find any information about her, anything about her childhood or where she went to school or any of that kind of shit. The only thing it says is that basically I think she was born in West Palm Beach and now she lives in New York City. And I'm really kind of curious because just anybody that is like kind of insane, like the level of arrogance and the level of fucking delusion that exists in her head. I just wonder where it came from. And for me, I think it's kind of the same thing as like Colin Kaepernick and others. And again, this is a total fucking shot in the dark. I have no idea if this is actually true. But for all of them, I really think at some point in their lives, I think Francesca was raised like upper class, or at least middle, upper middle class or something. I think at some point, people like her and Colin Kaepernick heard something along the lines of "You're not black enough," and instead of just kind of blowing it off or fucking being like whatever, it fucked them up and they're freaking out about it. So like Kaepernick, if you're not familiar with Colin Kaepernick, he's everybody knows who he is. He's the dude that fucking kneeled, and now he's not nobody will fucking hire him in the NFL anymore. Part of the BLM and all that shit. Kaepernick is half black and half white. And he was actually adopted by a white family, like a middle class family. So I think people, from that kind of background where their family was actually wealthy or well off, if they're a minority, somebody told them something along the lines of, "You're not black enough," and it kind of sent them into some kind of weird tailspin where they end up, going way overboard, trying to overcompensate for that kind of shit. But again, just a little theory of mine I thought I'd throw out there.
I'm back.
And we're back.
Yay. Yeah,
I'm going to do my best.
On the screen?
Yeah, you're still presenting the picture, your camera.
Oh, yeah, I suppose I can unplug the camera now. Turn that off.
Yeah, there we go.
See my ugly mug. Not that it's not all over the fucking channel anyway. But unfortunately, the problem with the webcam I have is it's too zoomed in. So Engelhardt is a little bit like about a foot further away from the computer than I am, where the camera sits.
All right.
When I'm there, it just like it's my whole face, like it's the whole screen, and you get like either you miss the top of my head or the bottom of my chin, one or the other. Or I say bottom of my chins because I'm a fat fuck.
Nice. But yeah, I was just talking about. I think I have this theory that people like Francesca Ramsey, Francesca Ramsey, right?
Vaguely.
Okay, she's the one that was, she kind of got into it with Andy Warski and all them, but she's this incredibly fucking arrogant black chick who just talks shit. She's a race baiting fucking black chick, basically.
Oh yeah, I know. I get the idea.
She's the one that had the MTV Decoded and all that shit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, the one that's.
I think Jeff Holiday took her stuff out a couple times.
Yeah. Andy Warski did it constantly. But anyways, I have this theory about him because I was actually right before we came on. I was like, I don't know anything about like her, where she went to college, anything about her early life. Like I've never heard anything, so I was kind of curious about it because I get the impression that she came from a pretty well-off family. Right.
Oh, yeah, most of them.
I couldn't. Yeah, and I couldn't really find anything, but she was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, which I think is a pretty.
Yeah, that's an upscale neighborhood. That is not a poor neighborhood.
Yeah. So basically, I have this theory, and I'm sorry for everybody that listened to that last part. That now I'm gonna try to cut this down as much as I can. But basically, like for her and Colin Kaepernick is half black and half white. He was adopted by a white family, a white middle class family. I think all of the people like that fucking seem to be trying so fucking hard to prove something. I think at some point, some other black person told them that they weren't black enough, or something to that nature.
Did you see Red Pill Black's interview with David? Oh, what's his name?
Dave Rubin.
Dave Rubens.
Was it Dave Rubin? No, dude, I didn't.
Yes,
I know it happened.
Something
I
other.
actually watched it.
Yeah, one of the things she talked about was the number of people who will revoke your black card if you don't fall in line with whatever silly political bullshit they support.
Right. Yeah.
And so that just reminded me of that because it was like, yeah, you're not black enough, or You're a coon,
Yeah.
whatever it is, whatever
But
they want to throw out. House.
I think, but I think it's especially it works especially well on people that come from those kind of circumstances where you're rich, your parents are rich. I mean, or like Colin Kaepernick, who's already half white, and he was raised by white parents, dude.
Yeah. Well,
and they kind of go, they try so fucking hard to prove how black they are.
Yeah, the dude never suffered. The guy was never like starving or fucking dealing with like all sorts of ghetto shit. Oh, William Stenchevers out of here.
Yeah.
Or were you just saying goodnight because Engelhardt was taken off? Either way, cool, man.
All right, yeah. Thanks for joining us, man. You listened to my stupid little diatribe, then. Nice. But yeah, I don't know. I just find that interesting, man, that they actually seem to be so affected by it.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of a trip, man.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know what that's like. If somebody, because again, maybe this is what they're talking about for white privilege. Because if somebody told me I wasn't white enough, I'd fucking laugh in their face.
Like, look, man, you do not know how much mayonnaise I eat. All right, don't fucking call me too white.
Right. Oh man, you would not believe the beef brisket I've had in my life.
My casserole game is on point. It's arm fleek or whatever it is. The white girl say about the eyebrows.
Oh god. Yeah. I could do shepherd's pie all night long.
That's fucking funny. I literally made shepherd's pie like a few days ago.
No shit. I love that shit, man.
Oh, I like to use the instant mashed potatoes. I know like everybody wants to use like the real, but I think the instant mashed potatoes work better because they're more uniform.
Yeah, yeah.
Too. But man, I just brown some ground beef. Make sure you got some fresh onions and garlic and mushrooms, whatever veg you're putting in there. Throw in a little bit of sausage and bacon to kind of give it a little kick, and top it with them mashed taters and then fucking some good cheese.
Dude, I put a lot of cheese on top of it, dude. Like a lot. And then I put it in the broiler. Do you put it? I actually put it back in the oven under the broiler, dude. The cheese.
I haven't done that, like to get the cheese a little crispy.
Yeah, dude.
I have to try that.
Yeah, because it has like a layer. It's got because I put a lot, dude. I can't express how much cheese I put on. But yeah, it gets a layer of crispiness, and then underneath it's all gooey, dude.
It's not a bad idea. I'll have to try that. I do that with macaroni and cheese when I'm making like real macaroni and cheese, not stuff from a box.
Right.
Yeah, I'll put like a layer of cheese over the top with like some breadcrumbs and maybe a little melted butter to kind of get some crispy bits on the top. Sometimes a little bacon if I'm making it just for me.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, no, it does a really good job of that. What do you put in? Do you put like gravy or like what do you put in with the meat? Do you put anything in with it?
Oh, so with the meat, I put in like usually I'll get like a pack of mixed vegetables. Like usually, I don't usually use frozen vegetables for anything but casseroles. But in casseroles, they just seem to work really good. And it's green beans, corn, and carrots.
Right. Yeah, but do you use like greens or anything like that?
Ever use what?
You don't put in like gravy or anything like that?
Oh yeah, and then I'll usually do like a couple packets of like brown gravy mix.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm usually trying to be lazy when I cook it. I can make like actual gravy to go in it, but
yeah, no, I just use the can. I just wasn't sure because some people don't. Like some people just because it's really hard to put the potatoes in if there's no gravy or anything like that in there. Some people just don't put anything in with it. My mom actually. Go ahead.
I find if you really have trouble with the potatoes, the best thing is to make everything earlier in the day and just let it like get cool in the refrigerator.
Yeah, so it sets a little.
Yeah, then the mashed potatoes can spread on real easy.
Yeah. Although you know what my mom uses, what she always used was tomato soup instead of gravy.
Oh, I could see that being really good.
Yeah, actually, I don't really like tomato soup, but in shepherd's pie, it was actually really good.
I'm not a fan of tomato soup except for homemade. And because my mom will occasionally take a bunch of garden fresh, like tomatoes fresh from the garden, and she has this little hand crank thing that like takes the skin and the seeds out.
Oh wow!
And she'll cook that out all day and make this like creamy, like with like heavy cream and fresh basil and like some onions and garlic, fresh actual homegrown stuff.
Right.
Tomato soup that is just amazing.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I might even try some of that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the canned tomato soup at all. It's completely different.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. Especially being that fucking fresh, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, but even the canned stuff tastes actually pretty good as a instead of gravy in a shepherd's pie. Man.
Yeah, well, you could also probably use cream of mushroom soup, like a can of cream of mushroom soup, and like a little bit of water would probably. Although the beef gives off a lot of water when it cooks, so.
Yeah, I hate mushrooms, so.
I love mushrooms, but for people out there that like mushrooms, you throw in some cream of mushroom soup with that, it would probably work.
Yeah,
that's one of my crockpot favorite things to do is some meat, some veg, like a tablespoon of water, maybe 2, and a can of cream of mushroom soup in the crockpot, and you got a meal. It's super easy.
Yeah.
Although I love making use it like something else.
Yeah. Cream corn or something. Who knows?
Yeah, or like just a can of gravy mix or something would work just the same.
Yeah, because like the vegetables I usually use is just corn and like green beans is what I usually use.
Oh yeah, I like corn and green beans. I like to throw in the carrot, celery, and onion whenever I can.
Yeah. I got.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes it works if you just use a little bit of carrots and like celery salt and like a little bit of dried onions or something like that.
Yeah, I think from now on I'm going to use one of those, at least the cans of the mixed vegetables where you get all that shit. It'll have little pieces of, again, the carrots, the green beans, corn. Although those usually have mushrooms, I think, if I'm thinking the right ones. Oh, wow. But there's got to be some that don't. Never mind.
Not where I am. That's weird. Yeah, but then again, I usually use frozen as opposed to canned.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I don't trust anything frozen. It seems like frozen kind of, although canned's not really that much better, I guess. Right? Not that much different.
We're both cooking with shit, so either way, you're fucked.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I think the main thing is, like I said, broiling. Putting as much cheese on top. Like it's probably. I'm trying to kind of eyeball it here. I probably put almost a ½ inch of cheese on top of it. And then I fucking broil it. Obviously it doesn't stay a ½ inch when it melts. But yeah, like shredded cheese, probably almost a ½ inch. Pretty close. And then, put that under the broiler. You get that nice crispy on the top. And then everything underneath it's just all melty, dude.
Oh, yeah, definitely the way to go.
Yeah, that works out really well.
I'm sharing something here. I wanted to share this because I remember we talked about the flashlight.
Yeah.
And I think this one is superior in that you can actually belt it on. So you can belt this on, and it's got a little arm that jacks you off. Or you can get it for the ladies, and it has a little thruster thing that thrusts a dildo in you.
Nice.
So for
the ladies,
it's truly hands-free. It's got the belt that holds it on, and it's about $200. And it's
Humpus, is that the name?
Humpus, yeah.
Yeah.
A British dude made it. But I forget what I was looking at. It was something on Twitter that showed it, but I thought I would share that for anybody who is interested, because we did talk about the one that was like $600 from like Fleshlight, and I'm like, well, the Humpus is like $200, and it looks like it actually has a belt that holds it on. Oh,
hands free, man.
Did you hear the NBA commissioner took a stand against the kneeling in the national anthem?
Yes, dude. I thought that was really interesting.
I think everybody is blowing this so out of proportion.
Yeah. Yeah, just let the NFL players are all full of shit. Like, none of them, it's all posturing but fucking bullshit. They'll all, it'll blow over. They'll all go back to administering their fake charities that, give their mothers and brothers tax-free incomes or whatever.
Exactly. Well, and then on top of that, like, they just want the attention. They're just, they think it's cool. It's the thing to do.
Yeah.
If everybody just...
And there's a lot of backlash. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it was like it's like a 3-year-old when a 3-year-old starts like acting out or throwing like a temper tantrum. Sometimes you just got to ignore it and even realize that that's just not going to work. Right. Otherwise, they'll keep throwing.
Yeah, because they're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? It's so pointless, man. None of them are going to follow through. They're going to get bored with it and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I saw a lady at the store once. His kid was throwing a temper tantrum until she gave him like a pack of cookies. And it's I think it's the same thing with the NFL. Like he immediately stopped, and it's like you stop giving them cookies. Them NFL people would just start, going back to just playing football like they're supposed to. Because none of them are terribly. Most of them aren't terribly bright. Like some of them are smart, but most of them are kind of dumb, jockey kind of guys. Yeah. So they're just getting into it because everybody else.
Yeah, and they've been. Yeah, pretty much all of them have been kind of fucking almost worshipped their whole fucking lives. Even the ones that aren't that good, were at some point in their career, whether high school or college, they got away with a bunch of shit, and they got away with acting like a spoiled fucking brat.
Right, look at the NFL's criminal record, man. It reads like a horror show. Like all sorts of violence, insane, and women, and fucking hurting people, and drug shit, and drunk driving.
And you think about how much shit they must have done before they actually got caught as adults. Yeah. How much shit did they do that got swept under the rug or that got ignored because they were star athletes, dude?
How many cops turned a blind eye because it was like a Pittsburgh Steeler and they were a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan? I think this one time I'll let you get away with beating up that guy, or we're not going to take you in for beating up your wife as long as you go to a hotel tonight.
Even before that, like when they're in high school and college, though, too, same shit. They're like, oh, shit, our local high school got to win. I don't want you being in jail. I'll let you off with a warning. College, same thing, man. Big-time college sports, dude.
You don't get that as much in California where, like, high schools will ignore it, but in the Midwest, football is the world.
Yeah. Well, think about Midwest, like in Texas, Florida, the entire South, really.
Arkansas, Nebraska, Kansas, places like that. Football is really big, and like you will have genuine high school rivalries, and they'll pack stadiums for high school games.
Yeah. Those are the main ones. The biggest states for high school football is basically Texas, Ohio, and Florida. Those are by far the biggest states.
Oh yeah,
but Michigan is right there.
All through the Bible Belt.
Anywhere in the South. And also like Kansas, Oklahoma, because they don't have any professional teams either. So the college team is their professional team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. In a lot of cases, there's also not a lot else to do. They're not super. Not a lot of money going in a lot of these areas, and so.
That's like their only pastime, dude.
Good, clean Christian fun, hanging out at a football game and watching a bunch of guys bash each other's brains in over a fucking little ball.
Right.
Hey, man, I'm not a fan, but I totally get why people get into the drama of it, especially when like these long, 20, 30-year rivalries and stuff have developed over time.
Yeah, the college ones especially, Yeah, I would not watch the NFL, but like my team is actually good this year, like really good so far. And that, my team has historically been pretty bad since like the 50s, like almost nonstop since the 50s.
Well, I've been known to watch the occasional Super Bowl, but the commercials have been kind of shitty these last few years, so I don't bother anymore. But I used to watch the Super Bowl on occasion.
Yeah. But like I said, even the boycotts kind of. But this is the thing I don't get is how did the NFL and the players not understand that most of their fans are not fucking liberal? Like if the average NFL fan is almost certainly going to lean towards conservative, dude.
Yeah, Englehart's in the chat saying, fuck your team. He doesn't even know what team you're rooting for, so I wouldn't worry.
Good asshole, dude.
Yeah, I would say the majority of people who are watching football really just want to tune in and tune out for a couple hours and just enjoy the game without their politics.
I'm gonna have my team. Yeah, I'm gonna have my team come fuck you, Engelhardt. How's that? Right in the asshole. Right in the sphincter.
Lubed or no lubed. Oh, don't go Jersey. You'll turn on the giraffe, man.
Sports. Oh, is he making fun of us because we're talking about sports, dude?
Well, we're not really.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I feel bad.
That's more about the
people
NFL and
that
the
are,
stupid.
Well, I feel really bad for all the people that are like really into like ESPN and stuff, and that's like their escape because it's the whole thing has gotten super political. Like all these sports channels.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I stopped watching ESPN a long time ago, dude.
Engelhart has enough ass for all of them, by the way.
What?
He says he has enough ass for all of them. So.
Oh man, I hope so, man.
But it's like when I watch movies, man. I'm sick of all the politics in movies. Like I watch movies to escape from politics and shit. I don't want my superhero movies to have all these fucking social justice warrior nonsense and conservative nonsense going back and forth. I just want to watch people beat each other up and like fucking the bad guy gets got at the end. That's all I want.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with how they Marvel fucked up comics for a while. And are they still doing it? I haven't checked in forever, but
well, the Civil War is going through the current movie, the Civil War movie. The first part, it's dealing with a lot of similar kind of things where, are they going to have the government run the Avengers, or are they going to be independent of government? Because they're like, will that make them evil, essentially, as if the government controls them, or are they evil if they don't allow the government to control them? And Captain America is on one side. He's the leader of one side saying, look, we have to be able to make our own decisions and choose what's right for ourselves, or we're no better than any of the villains. And we'll be rendered toothless, essentially, because the government will decide when we can and can't step in. And then we'll do what we want. And you've got Iron Man on the other side saying, if we don't do what the government wants, if we don't do what the government wants, we're evil because we're out of control and we're just doing
and we're not accountable or whatever. Yeah, it's really forced because you know what the Civil War was about in the comics, right?
I haven't really read the comics.
Okay, well, the Civil War in the comics was because they wanted to force anybody with superpowers to register and reveal their true identity.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Superhero. Yeah, that makes sense. The shit they're doing, like, nobody on the Avengers should be okay with having the government run them, especially not Tony Stark, dude. Like, that's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, the whole thing is pretty forced.
Yeah.
And I think, realistically, Captain America is the one that's right. They should, be on their own. I'm not sure how they're going to make the movie, but it feels like that's where they're going to go. It feels like they're going to end up where Tony Stark comes to Jesus and realizes, oh, yeah, the government's fucking evil. But that's more like the anti-government thing that, the social justice warrior kind of stuff that gets in there.
Yeah, but it's still probably leaning towards the communist thing, dude. Yeah. Maybe not. Wait, is Engelhart actually a sports fan, or is he just talking shit?
Oh, yeah, Engelhart is a sports fan. Yeah, he does baseball and shit. He plays baseball and stuff. I mean, he really gets into it.
Engelhart, who's your team? Who's his football team?
He's really into any team that's really gay. There's a lot of fans on the field. He's not
anytime they're slapping butts. Yeah, anytime guys are slapping butts, he's there.
Yeah, as long as there's a lot of butt touching going on in general.
That's I always found that so disturbing, dude. Because it doesn't really happen anymore, and I'm glad. But yeah, they're slapping each other in the ass. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
the fucking gay. All right.
That was always really weird. Like,
yeah, I was always creeped out by that. Right. Yeah. Like, dude, the shoulder, like patting him on the shoulder, like that's fine. But actually patting each other on the ass, dude. Never understood it, dude. I never understood why anybody let it go.
They'll get down and sniff each other's cups and stuff,
Jesus, dude. Bengals for the uniforms.
He's not a sports fan. I don't know. I thought he got into baseball. I don't know if he got into football.
Well, no, he brought up the hit for the Bears because the guy from the Bears, after the Packers were kicking the Bears' ass, a guy from the fucking Bears, the linebacker, came up and pretty much, it was a really shitty illegal hit that like concussed the dude, and I think they suspended the guy for the hit. Like it was pretty goddamn late, a late hit, like really dirty.
Oh, really out of line kind of thing?
Yeah, and it was pretty obvious it was deliberate. Like he was kind of, pissed off and taking it out on the dude.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, and that was, I believe they suspended him for it. Yeah, I don't think you probably can't show them. They suck too.
But no one's.
All right, shit. You're only gonna have one left after this year, dude.
Oh, really? Are the Raiders?
Oh, yeah. The Raiders are moving to Las Vegas, dude.
Oh well, maybe not after tonight. I mean, the shooting and all is going on in Las Vegas. Maybe they'll be like, it's too violent for us.
Yeah, that could be, man.
Because they are from Oakland.
Yeah, nothing's. Yeah, look where they're coming from. Come on.
Yeah, it occurred to me.
Yeah, well, actually, no. Yeah, well, I don't know if he's talking about all sports, but the 49ers are awful. And then Oakland. Well, no, Oakland's actually pretty good. Although they lost today, I think.
Yeah, I used to work at a gas station that was off of the freeway. And apparently at one point, Joe Montana of the 49ers, from when the 49ers were like a great team,
right,
stopped into that gas station when I was on my day off.
No shit.
One of my coworkers got to meet him and like take his money for gas.
Wow,
and triple shit. Cool. I don't think I would care. I mean, like I'm my dad's a huge fan of the 49ers, so like I guess if I had to pick a team, it would be them. Just because like I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any of the sports guys. Yeah, like if I met Barry Sanders, like that would freak me out a little. But yeah, beyond that, I'm trying to think of anyone else. Like even the current, like the Lions is my team, but like even the current Lions, I'm like, I like to watch them play, but I have no interest in really meeting them or hanging out with any of them.
Yeah.
Although Stafford seems like a cool guy.
Well, I'm sure Joe Montana's a nice guy, like no doubt.
Right.
Like I bet he'd be happier to have somebody like me who's just like, yeah, what do you want? All right, there you go, $5. See you later. Have a good day, man.
Right. Instead of, oh my God, you're Joe Montana. Yeah. Yeah, that would drive me nuts. Like literally, I am like, I don't know how famous. Well, I guess famous people are famous because they kind of want to be for the most part. But yeah, not all of them.
I wonder about sports teams. Like I can see that for acting, but for sports teams, maybe it's they're really good at it and there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
So like that's just what they decided to do because they enjoy playing the game and they could make,
make a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think even most people are okay with being famous. I guess this is what I mean. Like even if they didn't want to be famous, like they're kind of okay with it. It would drive me nuts, dude.
I don't really want to be.
Yeah, no,
I'm really happy with how big our channel is. Like, it grows, but I'm really happy with the way it is.
Right.
Like to 10 on a regular basis, I would be more than happy.
Yeah, keep it where you can still actually read the shit.
Yeah. Ingor says he had a teammate that used to trick other teammates into holding his cup.
Jesus, dude.
I can see that. That seems like something people on a sports team would do.
Right.
When they're not sporting.
Yeah. All that stuff's kind of a lot of gay shit in sports, come to think of it.
Yeah, well, the cup I remember being a particularly good thing. Because I just always I never got hit in the balls with a ball or anything when I played Little League. But I was always like, yeah, I'm definitely going to wear the cup. And there were kids who were thought it was dumb or was uncomfortable. And I was always just like, no, I think it's a really good idea. It's like wearing a batting helmet. It's just a really good plan.
Yeah, no, even when I played the outfield, I'm like, I'm wearing a cup, dude. I'm not taking a chance, dude. I love my cock and balls, dude. Not letting them get hurt.
Exactly. You don't want to take a chance with that.
Yeah, because again, like infielders, you almost have to because you get a lot of ground balls or whatever. Outfield, not as likely, but it's still. Yeah, Hart didn't understand the butt slapping either.
Well, he also agrees with us on the cup. Necessary, very, very necessary.
Yeah. I really never understood guys that didn't wear them, dude. I'm like, are you fucking insane?
Yeah, I mean, there's always those people though, like that ride motorcycles without helmets or. They don't want to wear a bicycle helmet when they're bicycling. And I kind of understand the bicycle thing, but seriously, man, just one little fall just barely the wrong way, and you're fucking screwed for life or dead. You know, I mean, if you crash your bike and you go fucking forehead first into the corner of the curb, just the right angle, that's gonna pop your fucking noggin like a fucking walnut.
Yeah, you're done, dude. Yeah, you're fucking done. Yeah. If you survive, it would almost be better that you don't fucking survive because you're gonna be fucking brain dead.
Yeah. Well, I feel
or if you
had brain damage, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah. Or at best, you're gonna have a huge patch of fucking just torn up skin, like on your back or your, somewhere. That's gonna take fucking forever to heal. Like, yeah. Well, I guess that's more of a why didn't you wear a leather coat kind of thing. But I never understood not wearing a helmet.
In motorcycling, it's not even about wearing leather. You want to wear stuff with metal plates in it. They actually make motorcycles. You're like, if I was going to ride a motorcycle, I would wear the pants that have skid plates and the jacket that has skid plates.
Yeah, that does make more sense.
Plates. I mean, it would be hot as balls, but at the same time, man, if you fucking spill on a motorcycle going 60, 65, you either lose, half your leg, or you ride on a skid plate. I mean, it's so fucking simple.
Yeah, it's insane not to, man. I mean, I would ride 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers without helmets, and even that's not really a good idea.
If I was riding like a scooter and it was around town and I was never going more than like 30 miles an hour, I might not be as concerned. It'd still be smarter to wear the gear. But then I could see people like just wearing a helmet and like a heavy leather jacket and solid pants without the skid plates or anything.
Right.
An actual motorcycle where you're getting up on the freeway doing 65 miles an hour and plus, definitely want to have skid plates.
There's no way you shouldn't do.
One of the many men that my aunt was with for a while was a biker, like in a bike gang and stuff like that.
All right.
And that dude always used to be like, yeah, you always wear the skid plates because otherwise you don't have a fucking leg. He's like, you spill on that shit, you lose whatever leg you're sliding on. So don't be a fucking dummy.
Yeah, it's going to just grind it down to the fucking bone and then fuck that. Grind off the bone too.
Yeah, and so this is from a guy who was like an actual biker, like, hung out with the gangs and shit. So if he's cool enough to wear skid plates, I'm gonna follow his lead.
Right. He's like, yeah, there's brave and then there's stupid, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Do not be stupid.
Although I never want to ride a motorcycle, it's not my thing.
Yeah. I like dirt bikes, but I never. I shouldn't say never. I mean, I just the quick acceleration of that seems kind of fun, but. Yeah, I've ridden dirt bikes.
The motorcycle with a sidecar or one of the tricycles, I would do that.
Yeah, have you seen those, the new ones? The ones that have the 3 wheels on it?
No, but I've seen a lot of
the new
3 wheels.
Yeah. No, there's a new style of motorcycle or whatever that has like 2 wheels in the front and like 1 in the back.
Oh, no, that's really weird looking. Or in my head. I don't know. Let me look at that.
I'm trying to think of what I can type in.
Oh, I see what you're looking at. Yeah, I can pop up an image right now.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, some of those look really fucking, they don't look bad, man. They look pretty cool.
It actually does look pretty decent. It's weird that they have the front 2 tires instead of the back 2. You always see it the other way.
Yeah, it really seems like it would be less stable than if you had the 2 tires in the back, but maybe not.
No, you would have more control. You would have more control because the 2
tires
it's like the front when you're turning and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the front wheel drive is better than rear wheel drive.
It'd be a lot harder to flip the bike.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, but I think it actually looks cooler than the motorcycles that have the 2 wheels in the back.
I don't know, the old chopper style motorcycles with the 2 wheels in the back, I'd say would still probably. Let me see if I can find one of those. The ones with like the long handles, though. You know what I'm talking about, like the really chopper.
Yeah.
Those are still pretty fucking badass. Let's see if I can find one of what I'm talking about.
type in 3-wheel chopper, dude. You should pull one up.
Here's the one I'm talking about. Oh, now there we go. Screen share again. Here's the one I'm talking about. Like, except it's a picture with longer handles and none of that gay ass fin on the back.
Right.
Like a big chopper bike. You know what I'm talking about? But like this sort of style.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty kick ass too. Like,
Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm saying they're still pretty comparable as far as coolness factor.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be well, except for the stupid fin.
Right. It is a little weird. Yeah. Although maybe not. Maybe it's necessary to keep it, from flying away.
No, I've seen choppers that are like choppers without that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, here, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. No, just load up here. Oh, god damn it. Fucking Pinterest fucking burned me again.
Damn you.
I just want to see the fucking motorcycle. Thank you. Yeah, like this sort of style with like the longer handles, sort of like a chopper style bike. I think this might actually be a bicycle. We're just like a really low powered motor.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the other ones, dude.
I'm not saying the other ones are bad. I'm just saying these are, I think, are common. Like,
right.
They're not slouches.
Yeah, that's true. Pretty cool.
Like they're all pretty equal in my head. Like, I think that'd be cool. I'd rather have a sidecar though, to be honest. Just because it would be kind of cool to be able to take a friend.
Right.
Had to, and not have to have like, if it's like Engelhardt riding a motorcycle, and I'm riding a motorcycle, take Engelhardt somewhere. I'd much rather have him on a sidecar than like hugging me from behind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was always a little weird riding like a quad or something like that, and having fucking friend ride with you.
Yeah, nothing personal, Engelhardt. I just don't need to be like hugged for an hour on a motorcycle. But no, what I really want is a tricycle, like an adult-sized tricycle for like grown-ups, little kids. That's what I really want. That's what I'm looking for that.
You mean like an actual pedaled tricycle?
Yeah, like a pedal. Like so instead of riding a bike, I could just go ride a tricycle.
Yeah, dude. They fucking make those things into like lowriders nowadays with like sound systems and shit, like fucking stereos. Yeah, they really do that shit up.
This is exactly what I want right here. Except I want like a bigger seat. Here we go. This is like the least manly thing on the planet. But I want it with like a bigger seat, so it's a little more comfortable for long range. But then you have like this whole big rack and stuff in the back. You can carry things. Like I could go to grocery shopping with this.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they'll do these bikes up like that, like the way they do up like lowriders and shit. Yeah. Like in that where that rack in the back is the basket or whatever. They'll have like a fucking big ass speaker and shit. The speakers.
Oh yeah, and that's cool. I just don't want to carry all that weight for like a set of speakers.
Yeah.
I can put headphones on, or just put like a little tiny. One speaker radio thing or something on my shirt pocket or something.
Right. That way you can carry the groceries.
Yep. Well, and also, get me out doing some more physical stuff. And it'd be fun to ride down to the grocery store and back, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good for you.
That's my very manly interest. That's probably what I'm going to spend my... I'm torn. Engelhardt just has some Macklemore shit. I'm torn between a new computer and like a tricycle with my income tax returns.
Interesting. Yeah. Probably better off with the new computer. Maybe not. Is your old computer going out on you?
No, it still works. It still works fine. It's only about 3 years old.
Yeah.
I could probably upgrade
the tricycle definitely help you.
I could probably upgrade the video card and still get a tricycle. So I think that would
Yeah,
be the best.
yeah. If you're riding that back and forth to the store and help me get in shape, man.
Yeah, and there's also a bunch of because one thing about California is there's no shortage of places to go ride your bicycle.
Right,
There's like a lake I can go ride around. There's like some hiking trails I can go take it on that are not like super, like they're not really hiking trails. They're like little paved area pathways up in the hills.
All right.
There's a bunch of creek paths. There's a bunch of like pathways along all the creeks and stuff that run through my town that I can go ride it on. You know, I can go take it out in the countryside. Cool. There's a lot of options for bike riders if you're into that.
Right. Cool.
And I'll pick up the chicks on my my tricycle. They'll definitely go for that. That'll be the hottest thing.
Yeah. Chicks can't resist a trike, dude.
I'll have to install a bitch seat on the back. That's what they call it on a motorcycle, right?
Right. Yeah, why not?
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called on a motorcycle. It's the bitch seat.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. I'll go with that. That sounds correct. I can't verify it, but that sounds correct.
Yeah, no, you look at it like straight up. You type it in. Oh, hold on. Let's just go to the web here. I feel like it's odd that I know this offhand, though. Bitch seat. Noun. The middle of the back seat in the car, usually with the hump. The person who's smallest usually has to sit there. If the other seats are to be filled. Let's see. And then they have images of
motorcycle. Yeah. Called so because the biker's bitch wrote on it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was pretty sure that was right. I just I wasn't 100% on it, dude.
Well, we have to, we don't research anything else, but, when we call these kind of things.
Suddenly we're worried about facts.
Yeah, we got to make sure we're absolutely right when we're talking about motorcycles. Yeah. That neither.
We don't want our legion of fans to lose faith in us, dude.
Yeah, well, now it's only one fan. It's Engelhardt, and which is weird because he has a microphone and he can go to Skype and just come on to the show again. Oh no,
he just said he's going to sleep. Yeah, I just saw that one. Night, Engelhardt.
Yeah, peace out, bro.
We can try to sing you a lullaby, but honestly, I'll probably just fuck it up anyway.
My throat would be no good. I couldn't sing right now.
Yeah. Next time though, we promise. But seriously, have a good night, Hearth.
If we want me to sing, it's going to have to be during one of the daytime podcasts.
Right.
The night podcast, enough. My throat's already worn out.
Right. We'll try again for Akinaro one of these days. If he's trying to take a nap or go to bed or whatever.
Well, I don't know if you ever got that link that I sent you, the Desert Lullaby. But that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
A YouTube video. It was like a straight up and literally I asked my sister who's in her 20s. I'm like, hey, do you know any good lullabies? And she's like, oh, I got this.
Wow. Really?
And, well, she likes it because it really helps calm anxiety.
Oh, gotcha.
It really calms down her anxiety. And I'm like, and I listen to it, I'm like, I can absolutely fucking agree. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't play it on this stream because we get in trouble, no doubt.
Copyright. Yeah, as long as you play it for less than 20 seconds, I heard you're okay.
I don't want to fuck with it. And then I'm not really good at playing stuff.
I understand, dude. Yeah. No worries, man.
But I'm messaging it to you now. Boom.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics are in the description of the video. So, when you YouTube videos for those people who watch YouTube but have never actually looked at the info underneath, the lyrics are underneath it.
Yeah, a lot of times I have it in the description, yeah. Dude, I got to find a copy of the Harrison Bergeron for you to read, dude. You know what's weird is I was watching one of Jordan Peterson's videos, and he actually read the whole story on one of his videos.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool. I like that kind of stuff where people actually read a book or a story or really go in depth on a hangout or a podcast kind of style thing on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's basically it was 10 minutes. Read the whole story is 10 minutes. Actually, I can send you that video, dude, if you want.
Oh yeah, send me the link.
I can send you. I'll send you the Jordan Peterson video, and I'll have a timestamp of when he reads the Harrison Bergeron thing.
Yeah, because I do a lot of video gaming with podcasts and hangouts and stuff in the background.
Yeah. But I've told you about the story, right? It's basically where it's supposed to be in the kind of far future where everybody is so equal that basically, like, if you're really strong, you got to carry like 50 pounds of weight. If you're really good looking, you have to wear like an ugly mask. Or, if you're really smart, they put like a fucking radio transmitter on your head and it makes sounds every so often so you can't concentrate.
Yeah, it's actually, there was, I think it's a Brave New World is also a similar plot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think we've actually had this discussion before.
Yeah.
Probably have to. Still can't remember it.
Well, it's the basic utopic thing. Like,
right.
Whenever people start talking about creating a utopia, it always comes at the cost of exceptionality.
Right. And equity. Everybody's got to be completely equal. But I really wonder if fucking, like, I read that and I'm like, that sounds horrific. But I really wonder if, like, fucking feminists or an SJW reads that and says, oh, that sounds amazing. Like, I wonder if they really want that, dude. Like,
I think they read it and see it as horrific, and they don't ever really understand that what they're aiming for is that. They don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
They don't
understand that that's kind of the natural outcome of what they're doing.
Exactly. They just don't get
what they want. Yeah.
It doesn't connect.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the whole, if we were doing communism, it'd be totally different. Like, you're fucking totalitarian assholes that are trying to fucking, really just want to tell people what to do. And you're going to tell me it's going to turn out different for you?
And it's the people who pimp out, like, this free market capitalism who don't look at the history of the United States and, like, actually look at it. Like, the oil barons, company towns, buying Chinese people essentially as slaves to build the railroads. Like, that's all capitalism driven.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good either.
There's some combination of all this shit that has to fucking work, man.
Well, generally,
I think it really should be.
It's a mixed economy. Mixed economy where you take the best of all three and you have regulations that sort of prevent the companies from getting out of control so that they're not, enslaving people and rigging the market. Which they just found out
colluding with each other.
Yeah. There was another thing that just came out. Because I remember there was the animators for, like, Pixar and Disney and stuff where all the animation studios got together and set a high line for this is the highest you're allowed to pay your animators. So that they wouldn't have to compete for animators. Yeah, so the animators couldn't, like, shop for, who's going to pay me the best, and if I do the best work, I should get the best wage. So they wouldn't be able to do that.
Wow.
And they all got sued pretty bad for that. But just not that long ago, there was a thing about a bunch of companies basically setting prices.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing. It's happened in baseball. They were found guilty of collusion, of keeping the prices down the same way, dude.
Yeah. Well, not keeping them down, but keeping them at the same level so there was no worry about competition for them, but everybody had to pay the same amount no matter what.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that... I don't know, man. It seems like no system, and I don't even know if it's the system, because the systems seem good in principle, but the problem is people are running the systems.
Well, see, that's the thing. The one thing that all three systems don't take into account is that people are assholes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of greedy people
always try to abuse and rig the system, no matter what the system is. So what you need is checks and balances within the system in order to prevent people from being able to get that initial toehold to rig it.
Whoa.
And you need ways to be, what?
I don't know, there's like a weird bloop, like a weird fucking like bloop sound in there right when you're talking.
Oh, weird.
Just really quick. Okay, yeah, never mind. Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, you need a similar system to the way the Constitution works, where it's like there's certain things that are like written down in stone, like, price rigging, monopolies. You have to eliminate those. You have to break those kind of things off. And, you need things that are checks and balances to kind of like keep a certain amount of free market. Because if you don't have at least a certain amount of free market, you're going to have stagnation.
Right.
Ideally, you want as much of a free market as you can get, but you need to have regulations that prevent monopolies, that prevent price fixing, that prevent, business practices that are like not really competition, but taking out other businesses so they can't compete. Instead of
there'd have to be
product.
Yeah, there'd have to be almost some kind of weird interconnected fucking checks and balances, because you can't just have one, because then that guy or that group can easily be corrupted. So you have to have somebody watching the people that are watching them, and like there has to be some way to do it.
Yeah,
where it's kind of a cross culture kind of thing where you can't really.
We were doing really, really well with the heavy regulation on banks and corporations until Citizens United gave corporations unlimited ability to donate.
That was pretty fucking.
Yeah, when they were restricted to only being able to donate very small amounts of money to politics, the economy was running very smoothly. And there was a lot of middle class. There was a lot of small businesses. It wasn't just all corporations taking everything over.
Yeah,
that's
when they decided that. When they decided that corporations were actually people, essentially.
Yeah.
That's what Citizens
United.
So fucking ridiculous. And that money is free speech, that kind of shit.
Which is just complete nonsense and not at all constitutional. Essentially that's what happened. So. If we could reverse Citizens United and put some regulations back on like the banks and stuff like that, and the corporations and the stock market, we would probably reverse a lot of these. Without really killing the free market. Because I mean, that's the free market people have a certain amount of truth to what they're saying. If you don't have a free market, you have stagnation.
Because you're going to get paid the same no matter what or whatever you produce.
Exactly.
You're not going to try very hard, man. You're not going to innovate. You're not going to even try very hard, even on the production side of shit. People aren't going to try very hard.
If you can't enjoy the fruits of labor, especially when you're doing a lot more work than the other guy, if you're doing a lot more work than the other guy, you should be getting a lot more money than the other guy. That's totally reasonable. And you should, and of course people are not going to be equal. Some people are going to be smarter, some people are going to be stronger, whatever, and that's going to affect what they can do for a job. But that doesn't. As long as the same opportunities are made available to everybody, that's what you really want.
And that's the thing is they think this meritocracy is like inherently racist or something. You know what I mean? Like it would be like me. Complaining about the fact that there's not many white people in the NBA.
Yeah, or like
you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're a bigger population. Why aren't there more white people in the NBA?
Yeah, there's these really weird cultural differences though. So I'm watching like prank videos, and like white people seem to think it's really funny to kick people in the balls or to scare them.
Right.
But mostly it's innocent stuff. It's very, very rarely like the unsuspecting getting kicked in the balls. It's like they kick each other in the balls and think it's funny.
Right.
But everybody's in on it, But like you see a lot of the stuff where the black people are playing pranks and it's like randomly slapping people just that they don't know, or just tripping somebody is like a prank. Or not
it's not very inventive. It's just kind of mean spirited.
Yeah, but you don't see that as much with like the white people doing pranks. There's more like scaring people or startling them or doing goofy shit. And it's obviously not, everybody does the same thing. It's not all
right.
The tendency is the more violent, mean-spirited pranks tend to be like the black kids.
Yeah,
they're doing it to each other. They're not doing it to other people. It's just like, good God, man.
Yeah. Although, it's kind of like if you watch like quote unquote black comedians, like a big part of what they do is just kind of being loud and boisterous. Like, some of them are absolutely genuinely funny. Patrice O'Neal was fucking genius. Eddie Murphy was hilarious.
Dave
Chappelle is fucking amazing. But other ones like D.L. Hughley or and Zealand Sorry is not black, but like I don't view them as all that funny. Like it seems like they're just kind of that high energy trickery. Dane Cook, he's a white guy that does it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you actually break down what they're saying, and you're like, it's not really that funny. Like you're just have this weird high energy trickery that's like making it seem like you're funnier than you are.
All of Dane Cook's jokes that were funny apparently were ones he stole from other people.
Right.
Now that he stopped stealing, he's not really that big anymore. So clearly, he was never that good.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Family Guy making fun of Dane Cook? It's fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh yeah, Family Guy does pretty good.
Yeah, because he's just saying a bunch of stupid shit that's not funny, but he's all high energy, and yeah. I'll have to find that. Have you actually seen it, or do you just kind of know what it's about by knowing Family Guy?
I'm sure I've seen it because I've seen every episode of Family Guy at the very least one time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot it was South Park that you haven't really watched.
Yeah, South Park I've watched, but like Family Guy, American Dad, I've watched all that. Futurama, I've watched all of.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff I've seen. It's been a long time, and I actively always seek out new stories.
Right.
And preferably things that are drastically different, because I don't like... Oh, no, actually, I don't mind spoilers. Like, spoilers don't bother me, but I don't want the story to be predictable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I got you, dude. No, I think we've talked about this before, where it's frustrating to know what's going to happen on a movie that you've never seen.
Yeah, it's like romantic comedies. The guy's always going to do something that's a little, that's not the nicest thing in the world, but it's not terrible, and it's going to be misunderstood by the girl, and they're going to get angry and fight, and they're going to push each other away, and you can see it coming every single time.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen at the end. Yeah,
or it'll be a misunderstanding. It'll be like, "But I didn't really sleep with her," that kind of thing.
Yeah. Not even those. Like almost any kind of movie. I remember like being able to, my kids and my ex, obviously my wife at the time, they'd be like, "Have you seen this before?" And I'm like, "No, but come on." Like it's obvious what's going to happen. Like, is it not obvious to you guys? And apparently it's not.
Yeah, they're just not imaginative enough, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
or,
that's kind of the trouble with how much shit there is out there. Is it's almost impossible to come up with something truly original.
I don't.
Almost all of it's.
I think it's just that it feels like that because all these entertainment companies just keep recycling the same very, very narrow range of stories.
Yeah,
but I think there's a lot of people that come up with a lot of original stuff. We just don't get to see it.
Yeah, that's true. They have definitely gone into just doing remakes or doing sequels, or again, doing remakes of old movies. The remakes are coming a lot faster than they used to. Like, it's like 15, 20 years, dude. You're like, is it really time for a remake of this that just came out 20 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it used to be 40 or 50 years.
Well, in a lot of cases, they're still totally watchable. The original is still like it holds up. The effects are still good enough to watch. It's not like fuzzy or anything. It's like a great movie. Like Escape from LA or Escape from New York. Like that still holds up. You don't really need updated graphics. It
doesn't need to be remade. Yeah. But they're doing it anyway because they know it'll make at least a certain minimum amount of money.
Yeah. It's like The Hobbit made sense because the only thing we had before was some like kind of shitty cartoons. As far as like they were great movies. It's just the cartoons weren't that great as far as like technically speaking. But so it made sense that they would do that with all these cool new like green screens and all these computer animation effects. That made sense.
Yeah, although I still haven't watched. Dude, I love the Lord of the Rings stuff, and I never really watched any of the Hobbit movies, dude.
If you read
I just didn't understand how they were going to get it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you read the Hobbit
I didn't understand.
Don't bother.
I didn't understand how they were going to get that much. Yeah. Well, no, I think they took a lot of stuff from the Silmarillion, too, because there just wasn't enough in the Hobbit
to making barely one movie, much less 3.
They included this whole thing where like this group of orcs were chasing the dwarves the whole time, and they kept clashing, which was not in the original Hobbit.
No, definitely not.
They included Radagast the Brown, who was another wizard who's a contemporary of Gandalf's, who went and investigated the necromancer, who was like this sort of side story of him checking out the necromancer, who was really Sauron being reborn or coming back.
Oh wow!
And they did a whole storyline about that, where Gandalf and Radagast the Brown were like talking to people when they weren't with the hobbits, doing other stuff, and essentially setting up all the events in the Lord of the Rings, which was I feel totally unnecessary.
Right.
I mean, and then they
must have. I know, like the Battle of the Five Armies was the name of one, and that was not in the Hobbit. That was in the Silmarillion.
No, the Battle of the Five Armies was
well before,
but it wasn't really like covered very much. It was just very lightly gone over.
They talked about it, right? But they didn't actually. It didn't actually occur in the Hobbit, right?
Well, it did occur in the very.
Am I misremembering that?
No, it occurred in the very end of the Hobbit, but it wasn't a big part of it. It was more like a plot device, just like to end the whole standoff between the dwarves and the humans and the elves.
Gotcha.
The goblins come in, and their army comes in, and then the
Gog, or what's his name? What the hell's the guy's name?
No, Bayron. No, Bayron. The Gog was one of the spiders, I think. But Bayron was
no. There was a big orc guy, Azog, A-Z-O-G maybe, something like that.
Oh, the orc guy that was chasing after the dwarves. Maybe, I don't know.
Was he chasing after him? That didn't happen. I thought that he was just fought at that battle. I thought that was the main part of that guy.
No, there was they added a whole thing in where like these group of orcs were chasing after the dwarves.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay,
through the whole thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that did not happen in the book, right? That guy is in the book, but that orc or whatever is in the book, but he wasn't constantly chasing him.
They included a bunch of that stuff. They threw all that stuff.
Yeah,
in there. They threw in this big long river chase, where like where the dwarves ride the barrels away from the. They go in the barrels to get away from the river elves.
Yeah.
They included this big long chase scene where like orcs and goblins were trying to kill the dwarves, and Legolas was running across the barrels and skipping back and forth on top of the barrels, shooting off the goblins and the orcs, and protecting them on their way out of the River Elves' kingdom.
All right,
super.
So it's kind of
super lame, super fucking.
Lame. All right, so
they changed.
It's not a big deal that I missed it.
They changed the dwarves. So in the book, the dwarves were always these sort of like cowardly, greedy kind of assholes. Like that's their character.
They love gold and they love digging for shit. Yeah,
but they weren't really interested in being the guy on the front lines. They were very greedy. They didn't want to give anything to anyone else. In the movie, they were like these characters. And then Frodo was just not Frodo, but Bilbo was just sort of along for the ride, hanging out with them.
Right.
Like they admired him because he didn't have the training, but he was like hanging out with the warriors anyway. Instead of like, in the book where, Bilbo always went first, always took the risk. The dwarves always hung back and always relied on him.
Right.
Oh, and then so the part where they get to the town and the head of the guard greets them openly, but the mayor is like not really that happy to see them. In the movie, they changed that whole thing around. So the mayor is like this in the movie. Is this incredibly corrupt dude who's like starving the rest of the people. The guy who in the book was the captain of the guard is just some random fisherman, and he's like a smuggler / fisherman who has no respect from anybody. Like in the book, he was well respected. He was one of the most respected in town because he was the captain of the fucking guard.
Right.
In the movie, he wasn't even like part of the guard.
That's weird.
He was just some shitty smuggler guy who would like barely keep his family alive.
And he was watching the gate for some reason? Is that what you're saying?
No, he wasn't watching the gate at all.
Oh, okay.
He smuggled the dwarves into the town because the town would never have accepted them if he didn't bring them in.
Oh.
They would have never gotten into the town. The mayor would have turned them away.
Jesus Christ.
It was
all right, so it sounds like I didn't miss a whole lot.
It's so fucking weird. And Legolas keeps showing up in the fucking movie.
Yeah, he wasn't in The Hobbit at all, was he?
No, he was not in The Hobbit at all.
Yeah, I would definitely remember that. Well, not I can't say I definitely remember anything, but
Yeah,
I was like,
didn't
I don't
include
remember Legolas being in it at all. He's in the Silmarillion, but it sounds like there's not as much from the Silmarillion as I thought.
Well, the Silmarillion stuff was all the stuff that happened where the dwarves and the hobbits worked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was all the stuff that happened behind the scenes that you didn't see in The Hobbit that explained how everything came to happen and showed some of like the politics and the stuff that people were doing when they weren't being featured in The Hobbit that led to The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's basically the Bible. I always look at Silmarillion as basically like the Bible for the Lord of the Rings universe, dude.
Yeah, so they basically just changed the story entirely and really had nothing to do with the Silmarillion other than just taking some of like the characters out to use.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I kind of assumed. I'm like, I remember The Hobbit being much shorter than either of the three Lord of the Rings books. Because I remember the book was like smaller and the print was bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was essentially the Hobbit was really a kid's story, and the Lord of the Rings was a young adult story.
Yeah. It was really short. Like, I remember
they basically made the Hobbit into a young adult sort of level story to kind of balance it with the Lord of the Rings and changed everything so that it made sense as like leading into the Lord of the Rings. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
it really bothered me because
man.
it was one of the first books I read like in kindergarten. So I mean, you know.
Yeah. See, I mean, I had seen that cartoon of The Hobbit, the one where the guy is like, "This arrow, I've always retrieved it, and I'm going to shoot it at that one scale that's missing."
Oh god! In the movie, it's a giant ballista and a ballista bolt.
Oh wow!
As opposed to an arrow. Yeah.
Jesus.
And it's like a ballista.
All right, so if I remember,
it was terrible.
If I remember correctly, it was basically like almost his entire body was covered with jewels and shit, right?
Is
that right?
It was like gold and jewels.
Yeah. And there was like one spot where it wasn't covered, right? And then
that's still there, but he shoots it with a ballista and a bolt instead of like an arrow and a bolt.
That's fucking dumb. That sucks, dude. Why?
Yeah. Because it looks cooler, I guess. I don't know. It's so dumb.
I don't know. I think it's a lot more impressive if he hit him. You know, I think it's a lot more awesome that a guy hits it with a fucking bow and arrow, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole fucking... there's this whole chase scene in the mines where Smaug is chasing the dwarves and the Hobbit, because the dwarves all come in to hang out with the Hobbit while Smaug is still there, because that totally happened. Except it didn't fucking happen. They were unwilling to enter the mountain until Smaug left. That was like a big thing. And then once Smaug left, they just repaired the doors to keep him out.
That's weird.
And then hoped for the best, essentially.
Jesus
and started counting the tricks. In the movie, like they get chased by Smaug and fucking douse him in molten gold, thinking they killed him, and they're like all cheering, and then he comes out of the melted gold and just flies away.
Wow.
It's real stupid. It's real fucking dumb.
Yeah. Wait, who kills Smaug in the books? It's like he's going over like a valley or something. The guy just sticks up his sword, right?
No,
that's not him. That's the other one. That's what the fuck is his name? It's in the Silmarillion. I forgot. I completely confused Smaug with the other guy.
In the Hobbit, the dragon is killed by the guardsman, Bard the guardsman.
Yeah.
Captain.
No, I was thinking of the guy. There's another dragon worm drake, whatever they call it. Where the dragon thing is going across this really small valley, and the guy just sticks up his arm with the sword and fucking cuts him open.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
That must be a story about something else. Yeah, it's definitely not in The Hobbit.
Yeah. No, I was confusing it with that.
Yeah, but no, it's a totally
different. I remember the name.
In the movie, the Bard still kills him, but it's with the giant, ballista and bolt thing that he somehow managed to get from the dwarven mines. Somehow ended up in his property. The whole thing was
Glaurung. I knew it. I was thinking Glamdring, but that was the name of somebody's sword.
Yeah, that was
Glaurung.
Glamdring the Foe Hammer.
Glaurung. Right. Yeah, Glamdring. Was that the one that Gandalf had? Right.
I think it was the one Gandalf had. It was either the one Gandalf had or the one the dwarf got.
Okay.
One of the
yeah, Glaurung was in the Silmarillion. That's the one that could like kind of hypnotize people and fuck with them.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, they didn't put him in, thankfully.
Yeah, I don't know how I confused that with Smaug after we had just talked about the fact that he got killed by a fucking arrow.
Yeah.
or a ballista or whatever.
Well, it's from the Silmarillion, and you're trying to figure out like what stuff did they include from the Silmarillion and what did they not.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, they didn't really do a very good job with The Hobbit.
Mm.
And the actor they had play Bilbo, young Bilbo, is a really good actor. And it just sucked that they turned the character into a giant. Well, not like they didn't quite Frodo him. You know, where Frodo in the books is kind of a badass for the first half of the story, and then he breaks down under pressure from the ring. But in the movies, it's the opposite. He's just a giant pussy the whole way through.
Yeah, I don't know. Even in the books, like he gets fucked up on a pretty regular basis, dude.
No, but I'm talking about his attitude.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
In the books, he's all fucking gung ho. I'm gonna do this. This is what we're doing. I'm on it. I'm in this. In it to go all the way.
Yeah. And then he's kind of slowly poisoned by the ring. Like they do a good job of drawing that out. Yeah.
But in the movies, he's kind of like a sissy from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
I guess I can take the ring if I have to. You know, like as like the attitude.
I guess I'll do it if no one else will. I can't do the way.
Yeah, and the one thing they didn't screw with Bilbo's character, like his behavior and his attitude and personality was definitely within the book.
Yeah,
and there was some great things. There was some good. The eagle stuff was kind of fun. The Goblin King was entertaining. You know, some of the stuff is definitely worth watching. The troll scene, the train scene with the trolls is good.
Oh, is that the one where they turn to stone or whatever?
Yeah, where the trolls catch all the dwarves and then they start arguing about how to cook them, and then it takes too long and the dawn comes and turns them to stone.
Yeah.
They get some fun stuff in there. There's some great scenes with the dwarves singing.
When they first go to Bilbo's house? I think I've actually seen the one where they first go to Bilbo's house.
Yeah, there's some great stuff with them singing, like the plate song and the.
I've seen that. I know I've seen that. Yeah.
But overall, you're probably better off like not watching. Because it's very frustrating. It gets very aggravating after a while because you're like, what the fuck is Legolas back in this movie for?
Yeah, so that's what bugged me. I was like, this can't all be from The Hobbit. There's no way you can stretch that out. I was literally like, okay, I don't know that there's enough that happens in The Hobbit to make one movie, much less 3 fucking movies. You know, so I was like, they have to be fucking pulling some crazy shit with that. I think that's why I never wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I want to show you that the animated story is like an hour long. It's not like even like an hour and a half, which is about average for a movie now.
Right. Yeah. That's why I was like, I loved Lord of the Rings, dude. Like I literally, I never got into it as a kid. I had no interest in it as a kid. It literally wasn't until the first movie came out.
No.
I didn't even watch it in theaters.
The Lord of the Rings movies, there were just a couple things that were slightly annoying. It was just like not even annoying. Just it was unfortunate that they left him out. That was it.
Yeah,
it was just like
no Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, and if they'd left in the fighting at the end, I think with the hobbits, that would have been kind of cool. Taking back the Shire.
Yes,
they only had so much time. They only had so much budget, so
is that what it is, or did they need to do a 30-minute fucking slow-mo gay-ass fucking reunion scene? Because that happened. Honestly,
if they cut out the 30 minutes of like successive endings where there's like 100 different ends, It would have been a little better if they'd thrown in taking the Shire for that 30 minutes instead.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right? At the end, like that, their whole little reunion thing, they put it in slow. It's really fucking gay, dude. It's really.
Kevin Smith said it right. Kevin Smith said it right. It seemed like the hobbits were going to start sucking each other off.
And then they did it in slow motion. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is how you're going to end shit? Yeah. No, it would have been way better to have that.
That was one of 100 endings that could have worked.
Yeah.
In the end of the movie, like the movie ended like 100 times in a row, and then it finally ended.
Right.
Like, the first time I saw it in theaters, I was just like, "Are we really done?" Because I don't know. I ended up watching all of the credits because I was like, I kind of feel like there's
something else is coming in. Yeah, no, you're right. Because the part about Saruman poisoning the Shire and bringing in all the tough guys to fuck with them and.
It was definitely an interesting sort of wrap up, and it made sense as to why the hobbits had even been involved in the first place.
Yeah,
the war touched everyone, so even their own home was not safe.
Yeah, the fucking party here got pulled down. Yeah,
yeah, and then in the end of the Lord of the Rings, Frodo and Bilbo joined the elves in sailing into the West.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the East, I can't remember. It was either the West or the East. But because of the shard of the I forget what it is, the sword of the one like the Ghost Kings.
All right.
The poisonous shard of that sword that was stuck in his shoulder.
All right. I was going to say that would never heal. That would never really heal. Yeah.
And so they knew that if in order for him to be comfortable, he would have to leave with the elves to go into the West.
Yeah.
Or into the sun, or whatever it was they were sailing off to the far lands, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so
Gandalf, the Undying Lands, Valinor, whatever you want to call it.
So Gandalf, Frodo, and Bilbo all take off with the elves.
Wait, is that not what happened in the movie?
In the book.
No, but what happened in the movie? They didn't. I thought I remember them actually doing that.
I don't remember if they did. In the movie, did they move in the movie? Yeah, I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, because what's his name? Any of the ring bearers? Because they said Samwise might actually be able to go too, because he did actually bear the ring for a little bit. But he had to stay home because he had knocked up Rosie Cotton a few times. Yeah, and that's the other thing. They don't really explain that it was quite a long period of time before they left, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
in the movie,
I think they did in the movie, but they didn't explain it. They didn't really ever explain any of it in the movie, but it happened.
They didn't explain that, like, hey, Sam's got like 6 kids now, and Frodo's leaving, and yeah.
Whereas in the book, they went back to Shire and they go through, and it actually, gives a little bit of like description of how over time Frodo got worse and worse, and eventually just like had to sail off into the West with the last of the elves.
Yeah, with Bilbo, because Bilbo was dying because the ring was gone. That's what kept him alive so long. Yeah.
And Gandalf went with them because
there's no real need for him anymore for the Ishtari or whatever.
After Sauron was destroyed, they eventually just basically destroyed the last of the orcs and goblins, and the dwarves dug deeper and deeper in the mountains, essentially like going away from man and not interacting anymore, and so there was no need for a wizard.
Right.
So it was the age of men, essentially. It was basically the end of the age of like elves and dwarves and men, and the beginning of the age of men.
Yeah. Although the dwarves. Do you remember the origin story for the dwarves in the Silmarillion? Have you read the Silmarillion?
No, I haven't read the Silmarillion.
Okay. Well, the Silmarillion is essentially the Bible. Like at the beginning, the world is created by Ilúvatar, who's like God, basically. Having all his angels.
Yeah, I know what the Silmarillion is. Yeah, I've read snippets of little bits of here and there, and I've seen things about it, but I just never read the book itself.
But yeah, they sing the world into being, basically. That's how it works. And then for anyone out there that actually, nobody's making it this far, but in case you did. And then the dwarves are actually created by one of the quote-unquote angels. artificially, basically. And at first, what's his name? The god Iluvatar, was going to kill him, but then, like, the way the dwarves reacted, they, like, shrank away. He's like, oh, okay, these are already real people. They're like, all right, they're not going to come in right now, but, you know, basically made them all fall asleep until they came into the world later on, whenever they came into the world.
Oh, okay, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah.
Well, what was it? It's better than the way they did it in Skyrim.
Oh,
where, like, everybody was essentially the elves. All the races were elves, except for humans.
Right, except for
like the dwarves were actually elves. The fucking everybody was elves. They were all elves.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That was one of the most disappointing story plot points and story twists that ever happened in any game I've played. Where I was like, "What? The dwarves were actually just elves? Fuck you!"
Oh man. But yeah, it's a little weird. And you know that like Melkor was essentially the devil. Morgoth, I guess they call him, but Melkor was like the he's essentially Lucifer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's essentially the devil.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's and Sauron actually worked for him for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a really slow read. Like, it's a very slow read. But it's okay. Once it gets going, it's pretty decent. But it starts off as a really slow read.
Yeah. Well, you know, people gotta freaking have their religion no matter what, I guess.
Right.
Well, then again, like, Tolkien was really a language guy. He was really, you know, the stories were almost like part and parcel to his creating new languages.
Right.
So, like, Dwarvish and Elvish are two completely fully made languages that he made.
Yeah, and they have their own rules. Like, the C's are actually pronounced like K's all the time, and weird shit like that. Yeah, and they're not weird shit, but
the dark tongue or whatever it is, the language of the orcs, he made that as well. Like, they're all real languages.
Yeah, it was almost like an exercise in linguistics, dude.
Yeah, well, he was a linguistics expert. Tolkien was, so that
was
part of why he wrote this.
Yeah.
And I believe they were also influenced by his love of, like, World War II stuff.
Right.
There was a lot of that sort of references to World War II as well in the books. I forget how you break it down, but like each one of the races was like one of the major countries and kind of thing.
Yeah. Although, I think people are trying to claim he's racist because he's like, oh, these Southerlings are bad, or the Easterlings, or whatever. They're all these swarthy Easterlings. They're the evil ones working for Sauron.
Oh, yeah.
So people claim that he's was racist or whatever.
Well, and as it turns out, the Arabic analogs were actually evil, because in the real world they're all evil too.
Right. Yeah.
Mike's not showing up, so I guess.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if every day now, it's new fucking terrorism in Europe. So, I mean, somebody else is getting stabbed or raped every fucking day. So, I don't know.
Yeah, a new truck of peace happening every day. Yep.
So I'm gonna have to say that Islam is pretty fucking evil.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely tainted, man. And I guess that's the difference. I don't know if 40 Michael, he probably doesn't watch the replays, but we kind of both agree that Islam does need to be reformed. I just think it's not set up. It's uniquely set up to resist that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Especially with Muhammad saying there will be no more prophets after me, and this is the true word of God. Like, you know what I mean? Really setting it up to fucking resist that reformation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no way to save it as much as people want it to be.
Yeah.
Honestly,
really sucks,
I think the best thing would be to just, as much as we can, either destroy or bottle it up. I don't play the half-ass game.
Right.
I get that people are like, oh, we should live and let live. I don't necessarily agree. When one of the group's stated purpose is to destroy you,
right?
You have to be pretty fucking stupid to be like, oh, let's just let it be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really the fact that too many politicians are kind of bought and paid for by Saudi Arabia and other ones that they don't want to criticize Islam or any of that.
Well, there's all the
or
oil,
the Middle East.
all that oil money and all the oil that we need from there. And, you know, I
which
don't
we
have
really
a problem,
shouldn't need anymore.
You know, I don't have a problem in encouraging secular, you know, non-jihadis, but how do you know? Like, it's so hard to tell them apart now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're actively destroying Europe. Like, they're actively infiltrating Europe with these so-called migrants and just sowing chaos.
Yeah.
Sure
creating their own little fucking, like, there should not be any no-go zones because of a certain fucking religion.
Yeah, that amazes me. I cannot believe that people tolerate that.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that there would be bands of people who would get together and just fucking annihilate those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know, go through and just burn them out, shoot them out, whatever. You know, I mean, like.
Yeah, can you imagine that happening here? I really can't. Well, I could probably imagine it happening in the liberal
places
strongholds
where it's super violent, but you can still walk down the street.
Right.
You know, there are like places where the gang violence is out of control, but they generally don't last long because the police crack down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the communities get gentrified. The police crack down and generally take care of those kind of areas in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, Compton and East LA and stuff. You know, they're terrible areas, but they've improved greatly because, like, the police don't tolerate that kind of behavior where nobody can, you know, walk down the street safely. They eventually just say, all right, we're done.
Yeah, can you imagine if Compton
Democratic cities
claimed they were Muslim all of a sudden?
Yeah, it really.
Back in the 80s or whatever when shit was going down.
Well, and then the problem is in a lot of liberal cities, they don't allow the police to do that.
Yeah.
So the police will actually actively avoid some of those worst neighborhoods in places like Chicago because they're not allowed to go in and crack down because that would be racist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Yeah, the fucking world that these fucking super leftists think we live in is so far removed from reality, dude. It's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh no, you can't do that. Like, well, that's the only way to stop this fucking suffering. They're like, no, the world's perfect. You know, everything's great. Don't be racist and like, fucking killing each other. It's a fucking mess, dude. And they act like it's not happening. They're like, no, that's not what's going on.
I think there's a group of so-called refugees that we're supposed to take from an island near Australia where the Australians have kept them because the Australians won't allow them in.
Right.
Like 45,000 or something like that they're bringing into like the Midwest. They're going to like Alabama and Arkansas and like fucking Tennessee or something like that. And it's the same kind of like they just want to try to get as many left-wing voters into the areas that are right-wing as they can get.
Yeah.
It's so
it's really sickening, dude. Yeah.
And that was agreed upon by Obama. So Trump is like, I can't really just break this agreement. And, you know, I can't renege on the word that Obama gave or anything. I can't make any agreements because, you know, if I'm going to renege on Obama's agreements and his, you know, deals that he made with foreign dignitaries, then nobody will trust any of the deals I make.
Right.
So he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place there. And it is only 45,000 as opposed to like the 100 or 200,000 they wanted to try to bring in that he stopped.
Right.
And those were definitely majority. Those were definitely going to end up being just a bunch of migrants and not a bunch of refugees at all.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Still pretending that these people are like have no choice in what they're where they go when they're already someplace. You know,
well, they get all this free fucking money and stuff. Like the DACA people are going to get, you know, all this free housing, free fucking education, free fucking, you know, cars, and I mean, they're basically they won the fucking lotto.
Yeah, they're getting
they're they're being granted citizenship and like $100,000 in prizes apiece.
Yeah, see, this is what's crazy. Is like, okay, so they're getting treated actually better than people that were natural born citizens.
And that's one of my objections. It's like, look, man, if somebody came here illegally, regardless of whether they intended to or not, if they were a kid or whatever, you really, in all honesty, should send them back. I understand saying like, well, these guys served in the military, or these people have jobs and they've never done anything illegal other than the entry. I can understand making a deal on that. But for everyone else, just ship them back. Like, we don't
especially any of them that have any kind of criminal record. They should be gone, dude. They should have been gone long.
Which is a substantial amount of them.
Yeah.
Much to the people who claim that they're all a bunch of innocents. The reality is no. The substantial amount of them have felony criminal records. Like assault, murder, rape. That's not that uncommon. In the DAC.
They should be taken the fuck out, man.
The other thing that you have to be wary of is there are a bunch of laws that are interconnected that if they get citizenship, they can then basically force their whole family in.
Oh, wow.
Like there's ways that they can basically just expedite getting their whole family allowed in. And their whole family doesn't have to fit any of the requirements for normal immigration. So it basically is any relative that's blood. So uncles, aunts, grandparents, nieces, nephews, and then like you just fucking spider webs from there.
Wow, that's insane, dude.
That's the kind of stuff I'd love to see kind of get shut down.
Yeah.
I see somebody wanting to bring in their wife and kids. You know, the guy comes in and then he wants to bring in his wife and his kids. That's fine. But not his aunts and his uncles and his brother and his sister and her brother and her sister, and then fucking to where
it should really be just immediate. Yeah, your spouse and your children. That should be the fucking limit, dude.
Exactly. And then anybody else that wants to has to go through the same process as everyone else and have to fit whatever the same qualifications are. You know,
right?
It's not like they can't get in. It's just they have to, do the same.
Yeah, they got to follow the They have to do the same process as everyone else. Yeah. Yeah, the kids are pretty fucking ridiculous, man.
They'll grow up here and they'll grow up going to the schools and they'll learn like the English and all the other stuff and our values and assimilate really well. But the one thing we don't want is we don't want to create like these little enclaves of people that just don't have any of our like American values.
Yeah, that actively want to take over. Like this is what Islam does. This is what Islam believes. It believes that it's going to take over everything, dude.
Well, and their goal is
even the moderate. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, as if their goal is to come in and like this is a stated goal to come in and breed us out.
Yeah,
like that's a stated goal. That's not some weird, creepy racist thing. That's what they've said.
Yeah, it's pretty much laid out how they act when they're in the minority, and then they build up until they're not, until they're in power, and then they fucking turn into tyrants, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but and then
it's fucking Sharia.
Yeah, Sharia they can institute.
Yeah.
So it's pretty creepy that we have all these globalists who want to let it in because they don't care. It's not going to affect them. They're the uber wealthy, and even in Sharia controlled areas, the uber wealthy do whatever they want. Right. They're not really bound to the laws of Sharia.
Right. And it would be a lot easier under Islam to kind of turn people into quasi-slaves.
Well, it actively encourages slavery.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's not Islamic is free game to be a slave. They have very clearly written out rules to do it.
Yeah. If they can't, especially if they can't pay the fucking I'm not a Muslim tax or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fee is for not being a Muslim.
Yeah, and even if you can, they get to slack me around some. That fucking cracks me up, dude. They're like, okay, you got to come here, you got to pay this, and then I got to pull your beard and fucking slap your face. Like, it's really fucking bizarre, dude.
Well, it's meant to make it so that people who don't want to be Muslim, it's not worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like even if you don't really believe
to
it.
the point where, little by little, they just convert to stop the fucking torture.
Yeah, it's a fucking... Evil religion, man.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, to be fair, there's a lot of really evil parts of like Christianity and Judaism, but they're just not practiced the same way.
Right.
And the good parts tend to outweigh the bad parts in those religions.
Right.
There's a lot of goodwill towards men and peace and love and brotherhood that really isn't in Islam.
Yeah. No, that's just what you pretend to until when you're a minority, which is exactly how fucking Muhammad fucking rolled. When they were in the minority, he's like, no, we're all about peace and love. And then when he had some power, he's a fucking warlord, and he fucking was heavy-handed and fucking.
Well, you're encouraged.
Lorded over people.
You're encouraged.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So I mean.
As long as it's in the name of Islam or to promote Islam, to help Islam, whatever. Yeah, lying is totally fine.
Yeah,
I find that amazing, dude. That a religion is kind of based on that, dude. It's fucking.
Pretty fucking savage.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
All right, I think we've probably gone as far as we
right. It's already like fucking 10 after 2 almost.
Yeah, just about. We've gone for a couple 3 hours, so I think we're good for tonight. Anybody who makes it this far, fucking congratulations, man, because I don't think I could.
Right. Yes, we appreciate it if you got this far.
Definitely.
Yeah. We'll get you some kind of prize to be determined at a later date. So
the prize is our admiration.
Yeah. We don't give out our admiration to just anyone. So leave a remark, leave a comment letting us know you made it this far, so we can adoration you, dude.
Yeah, they get a big steaming cup of adoration. That's what they get. It's warm and fresh from the source.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys later.